Behind the southern charm lies razor-blade smiles and hearts of darkness.
Monsters we are.
You know the rest of that sentiment and the reasoning behind it.
The truest lie ever sung.
It is not in seeking monstrousness that we stave off the monsters of our hearts and thoughts.
We are monsters dead, and truly so.
Yet our monstrousness is solely in seeking to live.
Seeking to be that most human of animals.
Monsters we are.
Monsters we are.
The better to embrace the truth of our dead humanity.
The Coast After Dark is a mature-themed Discord play by Post Server based in and exploring the V5 world of darkness in and around the Mississippi Gulf Coast region.
It has a small local population with over 14 million tourists that visit annually.
Roughly an hour's time is all that is needed to travel from end to end.
The geography and size of the region has created a unique power structure that is formally known as the Council of Twilight.
It is sometimes called the Pentarchy.
Sometimes affectionate.
Sometimes oozing with disdain.
Come explore and safely experience the darker parts of the sun-kissed landscape
And your imaginations.
Thank you for tuning in. This is officially, without a shadow of a doubt, the Coast After Dark, nth number of one-shots in, and tonight's episode will be You Must Understand. Nothing could stop Mississippi. I am your storyteller, your host, and your number one fan, Nobody. And we're just waiting the other players to arrive.
Hello.
Greetings and salutations. How we doing?
We're doing fine enough.
Fine enough. Okay. So there's a metric to measure fine. I will have to keep that in mind.
A sliding gradient scale of overall contentness versus physical pain.
Must be nice being completely free of physical pain or thereabouts. What's been keeping you? You've been a little absent. You're mostly okay?
Mostly okay, yeah. What is it? I've just been losing track of time. That's all. I've put in place some mind tricks, I would say, to try and help me remember to do things.
I see.
And so I'm looking forward to actually being on top of shit into the future.
Okay.
It's just weird that I have to effectively game my own brain to have it do what I want. Otherwise, I'll get stuck in something and not realize that I've spent way too much time on it until like the fucking sun is down and I'm tired of shit.
No, understandable. We all chase dopamine in our own little ways.
There is something to be said about the I was talking to Sensei, and it might just generally be better for me to push to be more of an ST than a player, since I do seem to have such a hard time keeping consistent posting with Oliver. And I don't know what me and Sensei came across as what he believes to be the general problem is we made the two characters as a pair, and he's no longer playing Haas, so it just feels weird to play Oliver. Though in the same light, I think it's just me being gone for so long and then coming back in. It just kind of feels unfamiliar.
No, fair enough. It does get easier and easier to stay away based on just absence and time. It's harder to come back because, unfortunately, we get good at what we do, and whatever that is what becomes easier and easier to continue doing. And trust me, I get it. It's not a easy thing with any semblances of frustration or any signs of discontent. It makes everything immediately worse. Speaking of Sensei, we were just talking earlier today. It's one of those situations where once annoyed, the source of annoyance, whether there is actually annoying or not, continues to annoy, and fight it though we will. It just everything.
We had a very similar conversation. I've pretty much established to myself that I just need to suck it up and soldier on as it applies to my particular annoyances on this server, and just enjoy the server rather than hanging on to the things that I get annoyed about.
Fair enough.
Because, truthfully, I do enjoy the server. I enjoy you guys, and I enjoy the story that we're trying to tell here. I don't know. I feel like, what is it? What does Sensei said? Sensei said that with our current player base, with our current active player base, hosting, it's almost inevitable that one would get tied up. And if I find it frustrating to the point to where it makes me want to go do something else rather than, sit down and write out a scene, it's just not helping.
Yeah. What's up, bud? How we doing?
What's up, Sasha?
How is your sojourn going?
My sojourn into the coast?
Not just in life in general, all that good stuff.
Pretty good.
I'm glad you understand what the word sojourn is, because I fucking don't.
How are your travels?
Grade reading? No. Uh-oh. You've traveled a little too close to your mic. Hello?
Hold on.
Oh.
Any better?
Oh,
Yep,
yes.
Much.
Okay, so I cannot wear my headphones and have my mic plugged in at the same time. Okay.
That's odd. The wonders of electronics.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Are they bone conduction?
Which one?
Your headset, is it bone conduction?
No, they're just some Sony noise cancelers.
Aha.
Yeah.
So they're working and fighting against themselves to do their
Oh,
job.
you're probably right. I should turn it off. Maybe that would help.
But yeah, suffice to say, if I'm going to step forward and try and help you out with the stories and stuff, because as it stands, I look at it and I kind of think, hot damn, he's getting a little bit swamped out there.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm accustomed to being outnumbered. It's okay. It's all right.
You've got a lot of moving pieces.
He does.
There are. That gives me that segues almost beautifully into it is about that time to light the fires, kick the tires. This is a mixed bag of downpouring scents, and I'm not sure which ones are which, because they're color coded. But there was never a key given for which color is which scent, so it is literally the luck of the draw. We have a turquoise, a sand, and a pale violet to choose from. Which should we go with?
So
Turquoise.
I'm just trying to think of what generally comes according to each color. We can give turquoise a shot. I imagine it's going to be like a really smooth scent, really soothing one, just because of the generally blues are assigned to those kinds of things. That or it could be really fruity. We'll see.
Yes, let's find out. Let's see.
I'm also going to try to reconnect my earphones so I can hear you all a little bit better.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan. Let's see what this one comes out to be. It's going to take a little bit heating up. My previous dragon holder died, so this one's a downdraft incense holder, and it takes, for some strange reason, it takes a little bit longer to get the cherry going so that it smokes.
Weird.
And I'm still using the same lighter, like the same torch, the little cheap gas station torches, so it's not a change of anything else.
Do I sound all right?
Yes.
Hey.
Perfect. All right. Try to keep my waters and my coffees and my cookies and popcorn away from the microphone.
Oh no, do eat. I'm sure someone will enjoy the ASMR.
I'll mute myself.
All right, so we're technically just waiting on Ernie, and well, I've already asked a question. I've already, tossed my hat out there for the acceptance of the consensual wisdom of our players. Does anyone else have a question, suggestion?
I've got millions.
All right. Well, in that case, give me 1 second. Let me step over to the fridge and grab a drink. Be right back.
Right, and that'll help me formulate my ideas. No, but mostly my own thoughts are just kind of racing on just the whole live play aspect. Going to be a lot more fast-paced than play-by-post for sure.
Oh, of course. But that's not fun.
We're back to the nice plain coconut water, but I'm also chasing it with, I've not tried this one before. It is Wired X344. Has anyone else tried that beverage?
Wired? I have yet to.
It says Wired X344. Welcome, Ernie. How we doing?
That's a noise.
Never seen it before.
The thing that sits in front of the microphone to keep it from getting too breathy.
Your shield.
Pop guard.
I would try not to say that because, I don't have a shield. I don't have a guard. I just going in raw. It is just raw and live, and all of the unnecessary salivations and all of that. It's just gonna happen. It's just gonna happen.
Yes, I have a very splashy ass, so you guys are going to enjoy that.
Oh dear lord.
I'm attempting to fix that, so I should probably mute while I'm fiddling.
Absolutely no problem.
Wait, so we're gonna have splashy S's. We're gonna have some fiddling. We're gonna have some guarding and all of that. We're in for it tonight. Got a little ASMR drinking, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. All right.
Oh, and there's a story playing out as well.
We're also here to do stories. Yeah. It may be secondary to the ass splashing, but it's still there.
While I push and don't mute, I will try to catch and mute any cough that comes through, because that I have found is extraordinarily annoying, both to myself and anybody else who's listening in.
I have recently set up a push to like a toggle deafen, and I think that should be extraordinarily helpful in ridding myself of any outbursts.
All right, so we're gonna need outbursts. We're gonna need 10 toes down, gripping on and hanging on as tightly as you can. Now, for those of you who haven't played with me often, or who haven't played with me in live play, I'm gonna give a little bit of preamble as we cycle up to get going and dive in. I love this hobby. Multiple variations on the theme, whether it is the science, fantasy and futuristic, or the barely there, often European based dark ages. All of that is perfectly, fantastically acceptable to me. This system, the storytelling system, and this game has a special place in my heart because of several misspent youthful afternoon, evenings, weekends, and between classes, but it is only a facet of what I enjoy. The play and the telling the story of these characters, exploring what it might bring, is where the heart and soul of it is for me. And it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. I am extraordinarily appreciative of every instance of getting a chance to play, of every instance of being able to step sideways from our reality and explore what lies out there on the edges of our imagination. Your efforts and presences are greatly appreciated, and I thank you all for being here. To answer a question that has not been asked, this is in fact the Coast After Dark. Our play-by-post, our server, for those who have not been paying complete attention, is telling a tale. There is an overarching meta plot going on. There are hundreds of different asides and moments that we managed to capture throughout the course of play. And all of it, even as far removed and seemingly unconnected as much of it can be, is in fact a part of the whole, a part of the tapestry, weaving threads, making it stronger, warmer, larger than we could have ever imagined. Tonight's episode, tonight's one shot, you must understand nothing could stop Mississippi. It's part of that fabric, it's part of that tapestry. So unlike usual, where we have a set coterie of characters that have interacted with one another, we've built their backstory, we've done their blue booking, we have an idea as to their modus operandi, how they connect and associate with one another, whether it's in passing or they're lifelong friends and associates, whether they're death mates and died at the same time. Any and all of those permutations have typically been worked out in advance of gathering together. It takes a little bit of the guesswork out and makes things a little bit easier, but tonight we won't have any pre-generated characters. Tonight we won't have had the opportunity of building this coterie of these characters' interactions. Tonight we are in for a treat because you all, much like during our day-to-day play on this server, will be constructing the story on the fly. The backstory, how these characters got to where we will explore their evening. And that means that this is, in fact, February 10th, Friday, a relatively warm and moist evening. The new moon is just dwindled and dawdled out of the skyline the 2 to 3 days prior. It was a smaller moon than usual, which normally means there's less pull, there's less light, there's less brightness to the night. In this particular case, even with it being a smaller moon than usual, a micro moon is what the astronomy and astrologers call it, but it's a smaller moon than usual. Even with it being smaller than usual, the pull towards lunacy was considerably more rampant throughout the coast. And to help envision what the coast actually is, Mississippi Gulf Coast area, the secret coast of America, sits on the Gulf of Mexico. It is encapsulating 5 separate counties in Mississippi, the 3 prominent being Harris, Hancock, and Jackson. In the stretch from one end to the next, you can reach one edge of the coast all the way into New Orleans in just about an hour if you drive straight through. And there's several ways to do it. You can take the 90 down and around, or a 10 down and around, but either way, from end to end, if you're driving straight through, you can be there from the Alabama coast to New Orleans in just about an hour. It's an unusual place for kindred because it is several cities, several urban centers laid so close as to be considered right on top of each other. It has 5 county capitals. It has over 12 major metropolitan areas and 17 different unincorporated areas, countless miles of space north and south along its domain, and over 14 million tourists that visit every year. Many come because it's close enough to New Orleans without having to pay, well, let's just call it what it is, getting done over by the lagniappe there in New Orleans. And everyone with their hands out, understanding that the tourist trade is their, milk and bread, their milk and honey. So many people, thinking that they're wiser than wise, will stay in Mississippi. They'll stay just north and east along 90, or just north and east along 10, and just drive in 30 minutes down the road across a couple of bridges, and you're in New Orleans. You're there in the quarter. You're there in the home of the dark, supernatural, voodoo encrusted area, the place of your dreams, where you've read, seen, and watched countless 100 times over through various media, all without realizing that by staying in Mississippi, all without realizing that you are in the originator of Mardi Gras, the Mardi Gras parade that is world renowned throughout New Orleans. All without realizing that along the coast from the John C. Tennis Space Center all the way to Beauvais is nothing but history, hundreds of years of history. All without realizing that the Gulf Coast of Mississippi is also an import center for things both extra legal and legal. All without realizing that that same magic, that same darkness, that same handout massage of tourists is all around you, from secluded resorts to speakeasies to riverboat. It's just as magical. It's just as dark. Say if they have a little more common sense, they keep a few more things close to their chests. The skeletons in their closet, while taken out and cleaned, are no less dark than those in New Orleans. So, as I offered, and still hold true, as we prepare to dive in with both feet and hang on with both hands, are there any questions, suggestions, hypotheses, or corners we need to round off?
I think I'm solid. Just from a mechanical point of view, would you like us to rouse before this, or is the weekly considered fine?
No need for rouse, as we are picking up midstream. When we last left our characters, when we last left the most active moments of these characters for this night, for February 10th, Sasha, Zaza, was near the Grand Theater in D'Iberville. Ernie was luxuriating in the peace and quietude of his most recent adventure, taking a moment to free from all of that turmoil that caused, that disruption of the quiet and orderly night. His attending to his forced upon student. And Oliver, boss to his friends and oftentimes enemies, has just had the conversation with the high muckety mucks of Bliss, the anarch capital of the coast. He has just come to grips with understanding that there's information out there in the night that could point fingers, and solely because he knows what that particular individual looks like. He can pick out the strange, oddly shaped blurb and blob that were there in those grainy, distanced photos that he received. So while he could easily identify based on knowledge, it is highly unlikely that anyone not familiar with anyone in those photos, whether they'd be able to pick them out, whether they'd be able to fill in the blanks and come up with 1 + 1 equaling 11.
All right. Yeah, getting that was certainly a highlight. That was a very interesting moment in my life.
Curiously, I'm not quite sure if there are any photos of Sasha in there.
Oh, there
I'm
are.
not sure. Oh, there are? Well, I won't know that until then.
And that's the best part. Learning as we go.
Sasha, having been out in the theater, having seen, another remake of a, 60s Giallo film, and riding on some really good blood, has felt a pulling. He's felt some sort of command from the network that he is a part of. And he's not quite sure how to follow it as best he can, but he is learning some new things about himself tonight. And is seeking out which way to go, mostly.
Oliver going out and about in the night and stepping free from his fortress of solitude, as it were, for the first time in a couple nights, is realizing just how quickly things can go to shit if you let it go to shit. And learning that even if you do have your slice of heaven, that doesn't stop others from wanting a piece of the pie. So as he's finished up his conversations and gotten his revelation, as it were, next steps are definitely in the mind. Having reached out digitally in coded speech.
Oh my gosh.
Something everyone should learn towards his ward. Now it's time to set about exploring the night and seeing what else has gone bump.
Ernie would be sitting in the office in the hotel, having tied up several loose ends, i.e. the previously thought missing woman turned out to not actually be missing, who actually came to pick up her luggage after being missing for a couple days. The incorporation of the business with Crichton's help, different things that he's having to do, having visited the chantry and dealt with things there. It's just all kind of swirling in his head, and he's very much deep in thought as to what next and how to calm his life back to a semblance of where he likes it, rather than all this hullabaloo that has happened recently. And then he knows he's probably going to have to go back to the chantry at some point tonight and follow up with whatever things might be lingering there. So he is preparing himself to disappear for the evening by making sure everything at the office is taken care of before he does so.
Okay. Excellent. So, to simplify, because I am a simple man after all, every character, Ernie, Oliver, Sasha, are dancing on the precipice of exploring and trying to come to grips and understand what has gotten them to where they are now and how to incorporate what they've learned to move forward. In short, each of them in their own way are living what a Freudian slip. After all, none of them are actually living. None of them are alive by any quantifiable, simple understanding of the word. Yet, for beings who have the potential and promise of forever, just like the living, they are compounded, conflicted, and constrained by time. It is an immutable carrying them forward into the future. The past weighing them down like chains or lifting them up like wings. Time is the one thing that is consistent and constant and ever present. That in the hands of fate. And the relevance of that becomes clear because we will move anti-alphabetically to get started. The Grand Theater d'Iberville is and has been and facelifted into its modern seeming. There's always been a Grand Theater. There's always been entertainment for the masses to keep them inoculated and pliable. And d'Iberville, being right on the edge of the expressway and being right at the mouth of one of the poorest areas on the coast, much like the gladiatorial arenas from ancient Rome, is there to keep the masses sedate, just like their religion, just like the constant church activities is there to placate them, to say that your just desserts will happen in the next life if you are but strong enough, and if you are but understanding enough, if you suffer enough and you hold true to these moral and ethical underpinnings in the next life, later you will get your just desserts. While entertainment allows you to not look at, it allows you to avoid, it allows you to inoculate yourself with all of the fanciful flights of imaginings so that you don't try to, or you don't know how to, or you're unable to align with how to better improve your situation, how to take those dreams and apply sweat equity and build something that you would like to have. And as such, the Grand Theater has always been here. What most don't realize is that the Grand Theater d'Abbeville is in fact it's more than an inoculation of the public. It is more than the illusion so that no one notices that their reality. It is a center of power. It always has been. The high muckety mucks, the attorney generals, the assistant governors, the local mayor, the police commissioner, and several families who have money going back to the East India Trading Company meet here. The reason for it, the reason why they're able to get away with it, is no one pays attention to the details. No one takes in the fact that the police commissioner wouldn't know Don Giovanni from anything from Bang Bros. No one pays attention to the assistant governor is deaf in one ear and could not possibly understand nor appreciate anything that's happening on stage or on the screen. No one pays attention to that. It's the red carpet syndrome. Everyone is there to take in the entertainment, to be seen and not be noticed. And while it is a center of power for the mortals in the area, it is also a center of power for the kindred. Having sat through a piece of art that causes the heart to soar, that causes the mind to open like a flower and bend towards beauty, having sat through your daily, nightly brainwashing of being soaked in art, Sasha is attempting to make sense of the world around him. He's attempting to understand the emanations, the whispers, and the tremors bombarding him. Would you be so kind as to roll your wits plus awareness for me? Unless your total dots are less than 3. As long as they are 3 or better, you do.
That would be. Is this something to look for concealed items or anything like that?
No. The almost the antithesis of concealment. The reason why you are getting the opportunity of rolling is because you, even if it is not being utilized, have the gift of auspice. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to roll at all.
This is something new. This is something that has just happened only a few hours ago. Untrained. Ungiven. Let's see. Oh, roll. This is a difficulty 3?
As high as you can.
Okay. Wow, that is a 3.
That is exceptional. And the reason why it's exceptional is because, and very factually, other immortal monsters might not have even had the opportunity, the chance, the option of realizing that everything that you are seeing and feeling is as unreal as everything that is bombarding through the neurons firing in your brain. None of it.
What would have been?
None of it. And all of it is real. There's a often tossed off aphorism that it is all true, especially the lies. And in this moment, as the world spins and shifts, and that smiling, dark-haired gentleman moving towards you seems to be stepping out of a dream, proves itself to be very factual. It is all true, especially the lies. You should not be able to see him, yet you do. His bright smile, his dark, bushy brows, his hair just shoulder length and glistening as if he has the very essence of the perfect product and perfect maintenance of his coif. His suit is a strange, for you and for most other people, shade, a strange hue. It is a plum blazer that he's wearing, beneath which is a cream colored vest with a slightly, you'd say green, but the truth of the matter is right on the cusp of blue shirt beneath with matching slacks. And to make matters worse, the shoes that he's wearing are so polished that you can almost see your own self in them as he closes, his hand moving out of his right pants pocket and extending forward to you. Hey there, Chef. How we doing? We should probably meet before things get too much more confusing.
Oh shit. You are real.
Yes, to some. To others, maybe not so much.
I've been warned not to pay too much attention to y'all.
Oh, that you should probably not. If I was anybody else, I swear you'd probably be in more trouble than you are.
And then?
Matt.
Sasha, you can call me Za.
Interesting. Isn't that what them northerners call pizza? But we gonna get around to that by the by. I'm Luke.
You do it one more time, you got my name though. Zaza.
I see. I'm Luke. We have not been formally introduced as of yet.
Luke, you take walks around here at night?
Not without a reason. Well,
What's the reason tonight? Let's walk. Let's talk.
You, isn't that obvious? If you had sat still longer, we could have made a nice approach. But as it stands, you constantly moving to, fro, and hither and thither requires a little bit more of a direct approach. Let's step over here toward the tier a little bit. We got a room getting put together. A little bit of this and that to handle that and the other.
Alright. I can do that tonight. Is it gonna be okay? I mean, ain't showered yet.
Yeah, that I noticed.
Not gonna be bothering nobody.
A little late for that, but that's a nice consideration.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're better mannered than some.
Yes, sir. That's what I was taught.
Now, no need to call me sir. That's probably for my mother. But
yes, Luke.
Luke will do.
Luke will do.
I normally would be far too busy to do this and make these introductions and get you moving in the semblance of a right direction, but Prince Christopher has decided that being as this is, well, your spores all over the place, and clearly you've been out here long enough to put this, that, and the other together for your own parts, that perhaps it's time for you to do more than just simply coast along. You okay with that, right?
To be quite honest, I've been trying to figure out a way to get in contact with any of y'all, but
it's finally all in good time.
Been the first.
No sense of rushing into a mistake when you can take your time and enjoy it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Slow motion car crashes are always much better to watch.
Some would say. Now, Sasha, Zaza, as we make our way back into the theater over here, you mind, just for my own edification, this has nothing to do with the prince, has nothing to do with what you're being you're gonna be asked to do. You know anybody by the name of Jaleesa?
Sasha is frozen. Absolutely Yes. It is plain as day on his face, but he doesn't say anything just yet. And then he makes a big show about, And then says, yeah, I do believe that sounds familiar.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Because if you didn't, I'd probably have other questions. But we'll save that to the others join us. We got the back room. Hopefully you don't mind a stench of pizza and buttered popcorn.
As long as you don't mind the scent of rotting cypress and wet marsh mud.
Oh no, ain't nothing wrong with Mississippi mud except for the fact that everybody walk on it.
And the people that walk on it.
As you all make your way into the theater, the difference a few hours can make is amazing. Gone are the looky-loos and those who are there for a cheap thrill. Gone are those who were only here because they had nothing else to do. Gone are those who, well, the rank and file of polite society. In its place, the parking lot, which is best described as a strip mall parking lot, has been gone are the Nissans and the Hondas. Gone are the late model Chevys. Gone are the everyday average. In its place are what can be best described as public armored vehicles. There's several dark SUVs, a long town car that you haven't seen the likes of on the road in forever. It's the sort of things that you would normally see on the way to a funeral. Long town cars in various hues and shades of grays and dark blues and blacks. And gone are the high school kids working their way through paying off their phone bills. Those barely cleaned, oily faces that were acting as ushers and ticket agents. And in its place are men and women who are clearly overqualified to be operating as such. Catching you looking them over, as is, well, most people's affectations, he simply says, don't, never mind them. The mayor has some things he needs to talk to some folks about. We're going to be in the back room, they're going to be upstairs. Come on now. And as you all enter and move through corridors and behind screens and behind the backstage and up some stairs, down another flight into an area that should not be part of this building, but in fact is.
Wait, didn't we just take 3 lefts?
Indeed. And with that, indeed, we shift to another building which has its own halcyon past, its own connotation. For those in the know, Bliss is the White House of the Anarch movement. Bliss is the Capitol building. It is the Senate. It is the House. It is the Pentagon, all rolled into one. The best place to hide is directly in front of everyone's nose. The last place anyone would think to look for monsters of the night. The last place anyone would think, because it is so obvious. It's over the top in its chintzy, schmaltzy, TV-esque feel. There's security, men and women in black t-shirts and black jeans, and then those in blazers, and then it's obvious that this cannot be what it actually is. There's no way that Kindred operate like the vampires on that comic book movie with that vampire hunter, that daywalker, that thin blood that was able to take out vampires with martial arts skills and late 70s badassery. It is so obvious that Bliss is that place that no one would ever expect it to actually be that place. So Oliver, photos in hand. Information to be parsed. Preparing to leave. Where is his actual destination?
From the information given, I'm aware that all this shit went down in D'Iberville, right?
Yes.
Off to D'Iberville I'm going. That's the last confirmed quote-unquote location of Vanessa and all the shit that went down, so better go see how bad the mess is.
That's the funny part. Oliver's been on the coast long enough to have an idea as which way is north, which way is south. In other words, he knows what side the bread is buttered on. He knows that while D'Iberville is actually well within the idea of the Hakata, Pentarch, truth of the matter is, there are places in D'Iberville that even Kindred don't really go. You go too far down Daisy Vestry Road and you gonna wind up in places where you will go missing. There was a rumor that there was a gang girl out there somewhere down that road that put Landry into her tombstone. There's rumors that somewhere out that way, through taking the 110 on to the 15 or somewhere up Vestry or even maybe off of Lamy, there are places where Kindred go missing. There are places where it's best to stay in your cars, keep the doors locked, and with your foot pressed firmly against the gas pedal until you run out of gas or you see daylight. And North D'Iberville is one of those spaces. While nominally under the control of the Hakata, there are places that are just outside. And if what he actually shared was accurate and true, it is literally just outside of the Hakata Protectorate. It is just outside of what is comfortably believed to be the domain of the Kindred. It's north of the 10. It is, in short, very, very dangerous.
We talking up near Riverside on Lamy Bridge?
Mm-hmm. Just past the 10. If what the information you received is accurate, though that makes no sense, but there's a lot of things in this world that don't make any sense.
Yeah, especially whenever it comes to whatever the hell that kid gets up to.
D'Iberville, one of the oldest and poorest areas. You wouldn't be able to tell by the houses, but there are places in D'Iberville where Hope not only goes to die, but goes to commit seppuku with his good friend Fate and Kismet. There are places in D'Iberville that, well, we'll leave that to your imagination as you make your way there. Now, are you going to take the 110 up and over, or are you going to take the 10 straight across? Because if you go north from where you are at Bliss down 49, you can merge onto the 10, and what would normally take you about 20 minutes could take you only about 10, maybe 15 if there's traffic on the bridge. Though there shouldn't be at this hour of the evening.
It should be fine to take 10. Like I'm seeing here, there's quite a few road split offs up there at the Butterfly.
Would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your Wits Plus drive?
Oh, fun. Let's see. What is my Wits Plus drive? We're getting into a car crash, kiddos.
Well, any crash you can walk away from is what probably, well, something or another about, walking away.
Okay. Let's see. Let's give it a shot. One success.
Everyone knows that old turnover phrase, that old chestnut about Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you. Oliver has lived his existence as a shit stirrer, just calling it what it is, even before officially receiving the position as Molotov for Baron Basilio. For the Baroness, he was a shit stirrer. Even during his days with the sword, he was a shit stirrer. Him and Hoss were shock troops, but you were the smart guerrilla shock troops. You were Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Predator shock troops. You laid siege. You started fires, both literally and figuratively, to distract the enemy from your end goal. That experience, that life, breeds a certain paranoia. That life, that existence, breeds a certain wariness. And while he is very much nearly to his destination, too close to do more than make errant and random decisions at this point, because he hasn't quite made it to D'Iberville Boulevard. He is literally, that is very much the next exit. He'd have to change his plans and not get off on D'Iberville and circle around through Illustrious or make it to Lamy, because there are a pair of headlights that have been back there long enough that he forgot that there could be the option of being followed. And it was a momentary slip, concentrating on trying to figure out what's what, how is this going to add up, because while he can look at those photos and pick out what should be Vanessa, he is sure that other individuals would not. The thing that he picks out most, and the thing that is most glaring about those photographs, is that that is a Hancock County Sheriff's uniform, if he ever did see that off-white shirt and those dark brown slacks with the blood stripe down the side. That is a sheriff's department uniform, and standard issue for the sheriffs is body cams. The fact that he's wearing armor, he's actually has a shell in over his shirt, the fact that he is bearing firearms, that doesn't speak well as to what might have been in the offing. That doesn't speak well, because body cam means that there's, if anything went even remotely supernatural, there are people that might see, there are people that might record.
And this vehicle behind me, it's sheriff's office markings.
No, worse.
Oh, fucking. Oh.
No, worse. It's a high-seated vehicle, meaning truck or SUV. It is a bright, lighted vehicle, staying just far enough back to not be close enough to pick up a license plate or how many people are inside the vehicle, or if there's even anybody in the vehicle. It could be one of those, I don't know, raised body Teslas with someone sleeping behind the wheel, but it's staying just far enough back for you to not pick up any details save that it's there.
Okay. Oh, let's see. And I'm still on the 10 currently, right?
You are still on the 10. You can either get off at Old Highway 67, because the next road over is the Cloverleaf taking the 15 north or the 110 south. Or you can continue on to your destination, which happens to be just there off of Lamy Bridge Road.
Let's take the more indirect route. If whatever is following me is going to continue following me, I want to make it a bit of a chase, rather than going straight on there. If these guys are related to the hunters, heading straight fucking there is going to be a bit more of an issue.
Okay.
Try and keep in more lighted areas.
Oh, well then you done screwed up several times over, because as you make that right onto Old Highway 67, you realize that just there across the river, the lighting scheme for Old Highway gets farther and farther apart. It is called Old Highway for a reason. Now the 15 is well lit. Every, several pairs of tens of feet, there's these huge 70, 50, however tall feet they are, lights that cover the highway. It's designed for quick, fast-moving travel. But Old Highway 67, well, it was finalized back in 1948 and been retrofitted once or twice, but no one wants to pour too much money into D'Iberville, especially on a route or a road that doesn't really go many places. Old Highway 67 will take you right to Lickskillet. Now, if you know anything about the way that roads are named, a road named Lickskillet does not speak towards infrastructure priorities.
Yeah. Okay, let's give this a shot then. If I can make enough distance. Let's see. Where is that lovely turnoff? Yeah, if I can make enough distance as I'm going down Lickskillet, I'll try and do a neat turn onto Old Lickskillet. And how closely are they following me?
If you were to count between lights, with them being every 50 or so feet, it's 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Yeah, I can't go anywhere while being followed. I can't do much of anything while being followed, honestly. Beyond resolving the issue. And instinct says resolve the issue. So we're gonna turn on to Old Lickskillet Road. You see that T there? We're gonna get on behind those trees.
There are copses of trees there. There are small houses, shacks really, just calling it what it is, just off the expressway, because Mississippi is still a state where you could squat, and if you squat long enough, the property is yours. You gotta pay some taxes, but in the grand scheme of things, getting a house for $1,500 that you and your family can live in for the next 5 generations, it is definitely worth the risk of potentially everything that might happen in a building that you are squatting in. So the houses there, the small shack-like residence that's there, it's very much a place that is worth the risk. Even as close to the highway as it is, even as close to the less than habitable ground, all of the trees and the wide spaces and the occasional unnecessary light from the passing vehicles on the 15 is definitely worth it more times than not. As you make the right onto Lickskillet, all of that to set the stage, because as you make the turn, do you step on the gas or do you slam on the brakes?
As I make the turn onto Old Lickskillet?
Mm-hmm.
It depends. As I come around this curve here and get behind the copse, would I reasonably have enough time to flick my lights off and turn the vehicle around for a potentially fun ramming maneuver?
You can definitely risk it. Would you be so kind to go ahead, roll your composure and drive, because what you're pulling off is something that would give Evel Knievel pause.
Oh my god, you're an evil bastard. Alright, wait a second. We're shooting for the biscuit.
Oh yeah. You know.
Yeah, do it.
You know what? I've got willpower.
Yes.
Fucking no, I don't, apparently. Alright, one success, let's go!
All right. What does fate say in regards to this extraordinarily hazardous, potentially fatal, if you were living, maneuver? There's so many things that could have gone wrong. There's so many things that could have driven this into the realm of non-negotiable pain and violence. And it doesn't make it any easier to swallow when it could have been your own doing. As the truck fishtails, the back end going to the left, the front end going to the right. It's a moment of heart-stopping pause. For those of us who have been in car accidents, is that moment when you realize that nothing is within your control. It is that moment as the car, just like Major Tom's spaceship, knows the way, where it is decided where you will end up. And as the slightly drier than usual Mississippi mud goes splattering and flying skyward, as the sound of rubber on asphalt gives way to, well, slipping, sliding, and careening off nothing visible. And you come to a rocking stop as the lights are off, and if not for Providence, if not for the skill of the driver behind you, both vehicles would have met, collided, and melded into one, just like the Spice Girls song. But instead, you have come to a stop with your bumper facing the wrong direction of where you wanted to go, and their bumper gently kissing yours, not causing the metal to fold in on itself, not causing glass to go flying through you and through the night sky, but close enough that you can see Drive shaking her head as if she just saw the most fantabulously unbelievable thing ever. She has been relatively implacable the 3 times you've bothered to spend time in her association. The conversation about who should come out on top, the exchange of information, the delivery of information, each time she's been capable, competent, and relatively unflappable. The fact that she is shaking her head, her eyes are just slightly wider than expected, says a lot. She might as well be screaming and tearing her hair out and punching the roof. From everything you've seen of her, she's been calm and collected, and that head shake, it's akin to seeing her scream into the night sky.
I see. And just popping out the window, having noticed who it is, he'll give a big, wide-angled wave. Hey, I thought you somebody else. How you doing?
Molotov, if I didn't know any better, I'd swear that you are trying to make sure that we both don't wake up dead tomorrow night, she says as she opens her door, the dome light going on, letting you know that for all of her local understanding that she's clearly not from Mississippi. Everyone knows you keep that dome lights off because it attracts bugs. The last thing you need is bugs all through your car, because they will lay eggs in the blink of an eye. Before you know it, you will have an infestation, and it's too hot to be trying to drive with your windows down at all hours of the night or during the day. It's amazing the information you can get from small little things like that. The fact that her dome light's on lets you know that she is not and has not been a local. She closes her door and makes her way towards yours. The schluck, schluck, schluck of her through the mud to get to your car lets you know that, well, it will definitely take a little effort to get you out of there.
Oh, don't worry about that thing. I was just trying to play a little bit of tag. So, what's it you following me for?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I didn't want to, but I was trying to catch up to you before you got too far ahead, but you kept pulling further and further ahead, and every time I try to catch up, you step on the gas, so I figured I'd follow you to wherever you were going so that you could get the message from Landry. There's a meeting at the Grand Theater D'Iberville. Something to do with the actual Pentarchs, and you, as a ranking member of the movement, need to put on and show face.
Oh, all right. Well, that makes a lot more sense now. You could have just like honked or flicked your lights or something, let me know you wanted that. But I ain't gonna hold that against you. Instead, why you gonna hook me up and drag me out of the mud, or am I gonna be around with you?
No, I'll take your car back to Bliss and park it in the parking garage. And she hands her fob over to you. It's a push start. Be gentle with her.
Oh, don't worry about that. I'm about as gentle as anyone can be whenever it comes to vehicles that matter.
She looks down to her feet, nearly ankle deep in the mud that you've trapped your vehicle in. And back.
Oh, I said vehicles matter. Don't worry about this one. Now, nobody, I have a question. If I have weight with a feather on it, am I like Legolas on snow walking across this semi-dried mud?
Yes.
Alright. As she is slucking through, I'll walk upon it as if it's solid earth. I wish you a lot of luck whenever it comes to that. I do have AAA services if you would like to, call them up and get it out of there. They're real easy.
No, Molotov, it's fine. I will reach out to Haas, as he's been working with the other twin. They should be here in about 15 minutes.
Alright, well, I wish you luck with that, and tell Haas I said hi. You need to relax a little bit. You sound like you've got some shit going on.
I do. With Derek missing these last few days, it's been extraordinarily more difficult keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak.
I understand.
He is just missing, right?
I'm not gonna lie with you, I ain't got a clue as to that. I can look into it though for you.
As you speak, having played games and started fires both literally and figuratively, you can tell that was a baited question. She tossed it out there to see your response, not that she expected anything. She was gauging you. Again, this is the second time that she's tried to see which side of the bread you're buttered on.
I've been having my own thing going on in the background, so as it applies to the happenings of Bliss, I've been a little bit out of the loop. Derek's a good man though, so I'm willing to put in some time and look for him.
Good. That's good to know. You probably should get going. They probably already started.
Alright. You have fun with all this, he says, just generally waving towards the car as he pat off to the truck.
The fact that you are heavier than her, normally, the fact that you should be far more mired in the muck, and instead you simply glide along the top of it as if it was, in fact, the firmest of firmaments. It's not quite injurious, and it's not quite insulting, but it's close enough that many would have a hard time telling the difference.
Look, what can we say? Mississippi recognizes its own. Outsiders are going to have some troubles that we don't.
The Grand Theater of D'Iberville is one of the many areas that you red teamed back before you quite got the grip and grasp on the political lay of the land. It's a clear, easy soft target. Lots of people, lots of potential terror. It is the sort of place that if you wanted to stir up trouble would be very high on that list of things to do. The fact that you're going there as representative of the anarchs, the fact that you're being asked, it raises a lot of questions. And speaking of questions, Ernie, on a night like tonight, quiet, easy, not dealing with a potential murder mystery, not dealing with that crazy Creighton, the tried and true. How would Ernie feel with the computer screen in front of him shimmering and rippling as if it was made of water?
Either that he had been quote unquote awake for too long, or that something else was up. Probably leaning towards something else being up. And unlike most cliche people who would lean further in towards the problem and tap at the screen, he knows to not do that. It leans further back, actually. Waiting for a good couple breaths patiently to see what all comes out of whatever's about to happen.
So wary. So aware as to how bad things could be. He braces himself for impact, so to speak.
Pretty much with the stuff that he dabbles in, yeah.
That's a good way to be. That's a good idea. And it is all for naught. Because the moment that he leans back, there's a tap, 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 like someone gently striking the side of a wine glass to get everyone's attention. And as the shimmering pools, and you see the lovely face of your acolyte, there's a sigh of frustration. It would normally be a sigh of relief, but such an act, such a tapping in of power says a lot. Magister Wynn, can you hear me? Magister Wynn? Magister Wynn!
Hush! You can be overheard here. Shush. I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. You ain't gotta yell. Magister Wynn.
Yes. What is it?
The Regent wants you to go to the theater. He says you'd understand.
This would be the moment that if there were a camera pointed at him, his eyebrow would be in his hairline. Yes, of course, I know which theater he means. Did he say why?
He said that you would understand. Like, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you, yes.
Okay. Sometimes I lapse into English, and I know that that's your second language, so you may not quite grasp all of the details. But when I said that he said you would know, that's
20 lines. I expect them by tomorrow evening.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Okay. Yeah.
Tell him I will attend this meeting. And now that you have other things to do, good evening.
Good evening.
He waits to make sure she actually gets off his computer screen first.
The huff and the incidental disrespect, very much like a child testing their boundaries, very much almost antithetical to what you expect. And you know for a fact that it's completely antithetical to what the region would expect. There's something beyond the expected with that one. She's shown extraordinary skill with the blade, and as a act of defiance, she's utilizing a skill that many 6th or 7th circle Tremere would not even know was possible.
He rubs his temples and packs up the books, the ledger for the evening and what have you, leaves a message for the head of maid staff, making sure all his personal papers are taken away and put back into his space before he leaves. Grabs his bag with his tools and spell components in case, because you never know and you need to be prepared. Putting them over his shoulder, thinking very heavily about what he's going to do about his acolyte. She is very talented, yes. She is an asset, yes, but she is also a pain in the ass. So there's that.
It's almost night and day. Speaking with her in private, i.e. whenever the regent isn't actually in presence, and how she operates when he is, when you all are at the chantry. There is the difference between her. It's almost as if there's two people.
His final thought up towards it before switching to thinking about this thing that he has to go deal with now is he really doesn't want to have to kill her, but gotta break a few eggs to make a cake, you know.
And therein lies a little bit of what seems to be in the offing. The Grand Theatre d'Abbeville is a believed Elysium. It's not. By no stretch of the imagination has it ever received the official protection and designation of an Elysium. In fact, for the last 3 terms, which is 39 years, no one has declared a new Elysium. The places where the kindred meet are kept inviolate based on the power of those who call the meetings. It is a sign of the powers of the Pentarchy as a whole, but none of the places are bound by the truth and understanding that Doing so brings the full weight of all kindred down on you by violating Elysium, meaning, quite accurately, if you feel froggy, jump. Which has been the downfall of many lesser kindred throughout the years. It is a testament that without the weight and strength of the tower itself, but solely based on the weight and strength of those who call such meetings or who call such gatherings, there hasn't been any major attempt or major assault. It also means that in such places, violence can and often is done.
Hello?
Why, hello. Giving you all a moment to understand what you all are being pulled into, what this gathering is for, or could be for. To say that walking into a room full of kindred with no outward protections, no clearly agreed upon allowances or security, is very much exposure. It's very much being perceived when you would much rather be invisible. It very much does feel as if the weight of the world is on your shoulders, because you're in a room full of other competitors, some stronger, some weaker, but all the same, you're unsure of what anyone else might be bringing to the table. And you're walking into a gathering of other kindred, other predators, other monsters, in a place that is unofficially just outside of the borders of good sense and decorum. It is officially just outside of the Pentarchy as a whole. It is just outside of the domain of the Secret Coast. It is in that gray no man's land that even if it was an Elysium, who's going to enforce it?
The whole thing about non-violence being more a suggestion out here than a rule.
Yes. And let's be perfectly honest, looking at each of the characters indirectly and specifically, we have a magister of some renown within the Chantry, who is all but an outsider, who has an acolyte that is problematically gifted, who has spent the last 6 nights dealing with something outside of the purview of the Chantry. We have a freshly turned wild child who was most recently involved in a potential masquerade breach, who is just now tapping into the fullness of the potential of the first steps into kindred society. And we have a locally renowned troublemaker who has stood and is standing as a counterpoint to the very power structures of the movement from within. And kindred being kindred, one thing stands out above all of those. The one truism that every kindred tries to not actually embrace, tries not to actually see, it tries not to let affect their decisions. And it's quite simply betrayal can only come from those you trust.
Yeah, this seems like a cleanup job.
So as you all arrive and are settled into seats and make your way into the back spaces, and the oddness of the parking lot stands out. It's a strip mall for the most part. Yet there are vehicles out there in that lot that would be easily trackable, traceable, findable, and would stand out because they are well appointed.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that there are back spaces in the Grand Theater is questionable in and of itself. Loose strings and threads and potential challenges taken to a place that there is no safety assured, in places that most would never know or think possible to have existed. And with that moment, as you all are settled into place and make your way there, and as you all contemplate the full weight of what lay ahead of you, it is 29 after the hour. Take a quick 10 and be back at 39 after. Welcome back, everybody.
Oh, hi there.
Welcome back.
So my water.
So when
I was boiling water on the stove. Okay, hold on. I'm back.
Excellent. So as we stepped away, Ernie, Oliver, and Sasha were settling into the back spaces, the backstage, the unknown to the average mortal, to the average person that spent 2 generations coming to the Grand Theater d'Iberville would ever contemplate that this space exists. And to give you an idea as to how massively, immediately, ostentatiously impressive the area is, the Grand Theater d'Iberville has 14 screens, 2 stages, just off Broadway in terms of their massive size and scale, behind which, in the actual cinema areas, are from the ground floor to the ceiling 47 feet in a straight line from the concrete to the internal space of the roof. The backstage behind the actual stages is exactly 65 feet, meaning that you can do a near full Broadway height production. And in this space, in the backstage, in the kindred spaces of the Grand Theater d'Iberville, you have to descend a story and a half to get to the meeting area that exists here. The area has been soundproofed and decorated by the 3 most respected toreador on the coast for 5.5 terms of Pentarchic princes. There's layer upon layer upon layer of ostentatious bewitchment. It is a space designed to overwhelm those who are invited into it. Because while Bliss is the capital for the Anarchs, and the Pearl is the capital for the Toreador on the western arm of the Pentarchy, and while the hidden moving gallery is Luke's baby, all of those inspirations have been used time and time again to build upon what's already there, to add to increase the feeling of being made small. It is that first moment of stepping out of a warm, camaraderie family gathering and looking up into a clear night sky where you can see stars for years glittering out there in the darkness. It is that moment of realizing how insignificant one singular life, one singular person, how small you actually are in the grand understanding of what the cosmos is. And it is magnified here because you are in the close proximity of 12 other kindred. Not the passing ships in the night that you've all had meeting other kindred in various places across the coast. Not the meet nice that you've all experienced when running afoul of one chaotic member of your community or another. These are kindred who have all but given up the idea of a ghost of seeming anything other than what they are. And then there's you. And then there's Luke. And of the others gathered, the best thing that can be said is that they are in fact kindred. And for those of you who have had the opportunity of meeting or being in close proximity to the Pater, you realize how his act, because it is an act of charisma, is so effective. Because seeing him here now, unmasked, unfurled, his skin moist and nearly diaphanous, glowing with some internal malice towards the world at large, the shadows caressing and sliding across his skin like well-heeled kittens at his beck and call. His eyes, those warm, chocolatey orbs that have beguiled and bewitched all manner of investors into the Ebon Queen. The absence of life sits there, waiting to spill out and give you all your second deaths. Forever is sitting there literally in his eyes, waving at you all, beckoning you forward to fall into them and lose yourselves forever. And besides yourselves and Luke, he is the most human-seeming individual in the room. Outside of you three and Luke, he is the warmest individual present. And even that is a pale imitation of what death actually is.
This is probably the most kindred that Sasha has ever seen in his life. It's unlife, especially concentrated in one place. He thought that 2 nights ago at the park was something. He didn't realize there were like this many in the city. You could kind of see it in his eyes. You know, he's definitely being a lot of authority, and kind of at this time just trying to like slink and trying to like hug the edges.
So this is just amalgamation of kindred from the different sects.
Yes.
Okay. Is he just Oliver is in this space, just kind of. It's a pleasure to see everybody here. Luke, Peter. He ain't burned nothing of yours recently, right? This ain't about anything I done, is it?
Well, being as you are here for the Anarchs, I suppose I should probably be up front and point blank. No, it is not about anything that you might have gotten up to. This gathering of like-minded individuals. Luke, if you'd do the honors of introducing everybody, if you can. Well, Peter, far be it for me to ever disappoint. Some of us are not so naturally gifted where we don't have to exert any effort. So allow me to be my humble self. I am Prince Christopher's Seneschal. I'm his right-hand man, and I'm sure that each and every one of you all have an understanding as to who I might be. This honorable, esteemed individual is the Pater himself, the leader of all of the Hakata on the coast. And those 6 members, the Don, his retinue, are members of the Hakata. For those of you all who are unaware as to what that clan is, they are the clan responsible for making sure that none of us sleep well when visiting graveyards or cemeteries. They have called upon the other Pentarchs and their representatives for this meeting. There seem to have been, well, we'll get to that by the by, but for the rest of you all, so that you all are aware, this is Magister Nguyen representing the regents. This gentleman, and he claps Sasha across his shoulders, is Zaza. He is an associate of Prince Christopher's and part of the retinue of the Pentarchy, and we all are well aware of our lovely representative for the Baroness, the Molotov.
I'll give him a wink.
So, kindred, each and every one, we are here because there have been several matters that have taken place inside and nearby the Hakata's domain that have brought trouble into their homes. And they've decided to reach out and get the assistance of the other Pentarchy to drive this problem before it grows large enough to affect each and every last one of us. Can I get an amen? Well, don't worry about that. I know some of you all are God-fearing heathens. We're just gonna say yes and move along. Peter, you were saying yes, I was saying thank you for that effort. In the last week, there have been several rogue elements that have stirred up trouble. It began with what we can only assume is the murder of a priest, pastor, man of God. It descended into the defilement of a hallowed ground. It continued into, well, there's no nice way of saying it. Someone has roused the spirits of the dead on several occurrences, and while we have tracked and traced and discerned that it was none other than Calloway and his network of associates, the problems have persisted even with Calloway's death. There is a gentleman that was utilized as a disposal of such things not far, and we believe that they are the cause and may be solely responsible for what's continuing on. For those of you not in the know, Stop and Chop Salvage Yard has been for years a non-aligned contractor to dispose of incidents and accidents, and is the last cog that we are able to put our hands on in regards to Calloway's network of agents throughout the coast. Instead of moving ourselves directly and investing just the Hakata, as this matter pertains to the entirety of the kindred of the community of the Pentarchy, we are reaching out to those able-bodied and here to assure that Stop and Chop is no longer a problem for any of us. Is that simple enough for you, Luke? Does the incident and understanding clearly put across that we might pull this to a close, and my associate Don here will know that the matter is being tended to properly? You've never seen a kindred go apoplectic before, but the gentleman that he motions towards as being the Don looks as if he wants to chew through the table to get to the pater, and is being held back by some supernatural force of will from doing just that. His face goes red. His brows seem to be literally giving off steam, and it is clear that he wants to say something or do far worse. But he manages to stay his hand. He manages to not act on that.
What was this gentleman's name again?
Pater? Or
who
the
went
Don?
into the Don?
Just simply been referred to as the Don so
Gotcha.
far. But I believe I know this entity, right?
The Don? Yeah, you've been to a couple of Jew shops in your time here on the coast. You know what product he peddles. You know what the Don is. While there were others that came before him, but as a blood czar, he is the point person for all the Jew shops, all of the donors in the organized circulatory system.
Oh, these are the guys that I gave the middle finger to. Fuck.
I mean, if that's the worst that you've done to them,
in a different life, one would say I may have killed one of them. But that was a different me. I am no longer that person.
yes. I mean, it was one of those things, people change.
Yeah, people change. Buckshot changes everything. It just, alright, that sounds pretty simple. Any particular way you'd like us to handle this, or is this one of them we need to figure out exactly how we're cutting up this particular roast?
Pater, if I might, Luke says, standing once more, smoothing his jacket into place. You've never had the opportunity of being really close to Luke. You've never had the opportunity of really traveling in his circles, not just because of the difference of political affiliations, but there's the implied prestige of being a seneschal of one of the members of the Pentarchy. And there's also the fact that you've never seen an adult male pull off some of the colors that he has. Who in their ever-loving existence could wear a plum blazer and it be tailored to, well, highlight their physical form? His forearms look relatively massive. It looks as if he works out. It looks as if he took great care of himself during his living days. And that's an impossibility. The rumors are to be true. He's a Louisiana swamp rat. Ain't many gyms that you heard of out there in the back of beyond in the bayou. Well, go right ahead, Luke. Go right ahead. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Pater. Thank you, Don, for your kindness and your patience. This problem to the Hecata is a problem for us all. And as far as you three members are concerned, chosen by fate, by the hand of God, chosen by good sense of your elders, your personal individual skills is what's being asked. Your ability to see a thing through is being counted upon. Your understanding as to the best way to protect the masquerade and your fellow kindred being demanded. So, yes, figure it out. Or don't.
I do have some questions, I'm sorry.
Of course you do.
Many, of course. But this place, it was called Stop and Shop.
Yes.
It's worked with y'all for a long time, no problems. Or at
For the
least
most
problems
part.
that couldn't be avoided.
For the most part.
Why the
yes.
sudden change? When I want to figure something out.
As far as I'm aware, there's an issue that had a solution, and the solution did not work, so this is one of the last threads they can pull on in order to try and solve the problem.
That would be about it, wouldn't it, Master Wynn? I understand that you were recently involved in a certain witch hunt that didn't stir up any witches.
His eyes kind of narrow just a little bit. Well, the thing is, we were given some interesting, conflicting stories. So, what I find or did not find is up for interpretation. But my strong suit, yes, is an observer, and having worked with the Hekata loosely before, with some of these previous incidences of spiritual uprising, that is where my talents lie.
Seems as if we all getting along like peas in a pod. Of course, some of us are potatoes.
It seems like mighty big gathering of some mighty big important people. It just the only issue be gather us three up, say point and shoot.
Peter, mighty, again, forgive me. I don't mean to overstep your good grace and your hospitality in such a well-controlled and law-abiding domain as this, as far removed as we are. I don't want to ever overstep in anything, so forgive me, and I beg your indulgence a little bit more, because, well, what's good for one of us is good for all of us. It is a mighty big engagement that you all have been made privy to. Your considerable trust is being expected. After all, it'd be very uncouth for you all to remark as to the Hekata having multiple representatives in a meeting that decides how we all might not suffer, or how we might suffer. It would be horrible for you all to go running and gossiping as to what you might have seen, or what you might glean from this get-together. You're chosen for various reasons, most of those beyond me, but I can say that your non-disclosure agreement from being kindred still applies. You wouldn't dare run back to your various superiors and spread such information that might be damning to one or more of us, because that would force one or more of us, especially our esteemed Hekata associates, to have to seek you all out and take strength of arms to assure their individual and personal honor.
Just a bright smile. Oh, of course. It's expected of us to keep secrets and categorize secrets. I definitely wouldn't spread the fact that with so many Hekata representatives here, the tower is still speaking for them, apparently.
That it is. It is so nice that we are all working calmly and peacefully together in this enterprise. Ain't that right, Zaza? Master Wynn.
I think I meet his eyes straight up. Complete and total lengthy, unblinking eye contact, and just nod my head, and it might look like he's being a little sage. It might look like he's a little high. But he doesn't say anything, but he does make some very meaningful eye contact.
Now, Luke, I understand you're the one of us here with the most experience.
1 second. 1 second. He literally holds up one finger about 6 inches from your face as he stares longingly and lovingly into Zaza's eyes. There is a very clear-cut moment of connection. A soft smirk of his lips. You didn't realize that his eyes were both blue and green at once, as if the impossibility of them being purely one or the other.
Oh, wow.
And how they slightly swirl and intermingle with that speckle of caramel right there around the edge. Mm-hmm. And that smile, which is bright enough to cause the room to alight. Would you be so kind as to roll your composure and subterfuge for me, please? As high as you can.
Absolutely.
Look, did you bring us all here just to watch you get your fuck on?
It's like Ziggy Stardust
Ernie.
and Lenny Kravitz had a baby. That was composure plus subterfuge?
Yes.
Okay.
Ernie's got his hands tented kind of together under his chin.
Mm-hmm. And this individual's name again, I kept trying to get back to it, but I got a little... Sorry, go on.
Luke.
Luke. This is Luke, who's... Dreamboat, okay. Professor Plum, Dreamboat.
I mean, hey, I'm all for it. I'm pretty sure there's a camera back up in the truck. I can go get it.
Ooh. Alright, so I do
Gentlemen, we are burning moonlight.
That's just not right,
I
is
think
it?
we should be on our way.
What is my subterfuge? Is it only one? Okay.
He's not a very he's not a very sly or subtle individual, no, is he?
No, he's not. But I am gonna Oh, he's pretty subtle. He's pretty sly. But I'm gonna reroll those successes. Use a willpower.
Alright.
For 2 successes. Wait,
I kind of fucking forgot that life play dice existed.
oh. Yeah, 2 and 2. Yeah, that's right.
Uh-oh.
So have I fallen for my dreamboat?
As he's staring into your eyes and you're losing yourself in his, there's a bit of confusion. You can hear Magister Wynn saying, "Let's go." You can hear Oliver making suggestions about cameras. All of those sound like great ideas if you were not stuck swimming in the forever of this moment. It's stretching on for centuries. You all
And
opening a quiet bed and breakfast, the fixation you have, the connection that you have with Luke in this moment is the stuff that they've written epics about. Countries have fallen because of the sheer weight of this truth, honest, endearing entrancement. You see your future sprawling out forever in this moment. You know that as long as you are here, you are safe and secure, that there's no other person, no other kindred, no other being that might protect you more, that might keep you safer, that enthralls you as completely as Luke does in this moment. And that smile that goes on into infinity, that holds you transfixed. And everyone tells you that magic and love doesn't exist, but there it is, sitting there, right there, holding you as if you are a newborn swaddled babe. You are as safe as you have ever been, as safe as you will ever be. and the rest of the world swims away. The rest of the world falls into the background of nothingness, ensconced in shadow, lost beneath the sea. And then he looks away and turns to Oliver, moving close enough to rest his hand on Oliver's shoulder. Now, Molotov, ain't no reason for us to go get no camera. Take only memories, don't you understand that? That's a simple thing. It's just the nature of the world. You have to give yourself over to these moments and enjoy them to the best of your ability. Isn't that right, Magister Wynn?
He doesn't stare, or he stares at a point just on the left side of their head, because he knows better. He's dealt with motherfuckers like this before, so he's staring. It looks like he's staring at him, but he gets just that point of his ear and smiles very slowly.
The left ear stare. Yeah.
Indeed.
The I have social anxiety and cannot make eye contact stare.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. He does. He very much does. He is very much neuroatypical. People don't know that until they meet him and get to spend time with him. But he's very much neurodivergent. He stands quietly. If that is all, we will be on our way.
You said Luke put his hand on me?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just kind of, pat it with my hand on the same side and be like, now, baby, you know you can't be hitting on other girls in front of me.
I get real offended for a second.
He smiles and leans a hair bit closer. And he seeks your eyes out. His eyebrows raising, his smile turning into a smirk. Do you see what color eyes he has?
Hell to the no! I'll just kind of, as he's leaning in, I just go, oh, we're about a headbutt? I can do the headbutting thing.
In an effort to kind of, diffuse that situation, I'll kind of, just pick up on it and just try to divert their potential argument. Definite kind of like fawn reaction where he's just like, hey guys, I got some, at least there's a little bit of info, like, it's not too far from my place. Never used it, but like, I just found like a huge hub of cameras. All over like what had happened recently, and including what happened last night.
Just kind of,
I'm sure that will more than entertain you all on your drive over. Isn't that right, Oliver? Isn't that right, Molotov?
Dude just kind of reaches up, pats him on the cheek, turns towards Ernie. I believe you're right, Magister. It is time to get out of here and get to work. I'm done with the whole, what's the word, glitz and glam and pretty words type situation. I love the tower, love it so much, but there's something about a gold veneer that really rubs me wrong.
So it is safe to say that you all are able to extricate yourself from the situation. When dealing with Kindred, there are always a minimum of 2 levels at play. And in this case, looking at the gathered assemblage, it would be very hard pressed for those of you with a streetwise of 2 or higher to not see this for what it was. This is a meeting, a peace meeting, a peace summit between two different powers. This was an appeasement. This is something horrible is afoot if a clan can turn on itself and still remain under the same banner. And if you didn't know any better, that's exactly what this would seem to be. This matter as an appeasement. Your success more than likely will determine who or what is still a power within the Hakadah.
Oh. Got you.
So as you all leave the back space, the backstage, the hidden center of power for the Grand Theater d'Abbeville, as a matter of transportation, as a matter of what you all are going to do, that sits there for you all to your side.
Luke is here with us.
Nope.
As part of the... No?
Nope. You three are allowed to leave and slink away on your own.
Luke is still here in your heart.
Yes. I told him everything. He knows my sire. I never got to talk to him about that. Or at least he knows the name of my sire.
Conversation later.
I have so many hours of conversation.
It's really weird seeing somebody else do this. Makes me feel a little bit morally questionable about what I get up to.
You know, I just kind of like wonder, like, you know what his pajamas are like.
I bet they're
seems
frilly.
like a nice guy.
I can see him in frilly.
He does look like, yeah, some crushed velvet, some cupped sleeves.
Alright, now, Magister, you got any particulars as to what's going on here? Because otherwise, I'm more than happy to do what I normally do.
The thing is, unfortunately, the Hakadah have been infighting for some time. I don't know how far back it exactly goes, but the things I had to help fix were created within their own organization, and there have been members of their own organization that have since gone missing. So, this does not quite surprise me that they are still fighting amongst themselves and need somebody else to mediate for them, as it were.
Is that what that whole Dawn thing was?
I think so. I was thinking about him, and it just seems like he was kind of giving up a piece of the land, giving up a piece of his pie.
Yes. There have been many small skirmishes up until this point. They were trying to keep it out of the larger area, but if it has gotten to the point where humans might notice, then we are indeed in dire times. So it would be best that we get this quietly handled, best to our ability. Has Ernie heard of the Chop Shop before?
No.
Or is that a new bit of information?
No, she was asking if Ernie has.
That's a new bit of information, considering that sounds all too suspiciously like where you all were looking for Kabir.
Now, I do got a question. Which of these two warring factions, as it were, do you align with?
The thing is, I have some small ties to Leggett and the Ebon Queen, but it's loose friendship rather than any sort of real loyalty. So, take that for what it is. He did us a favor and we did him one.
Okay, so Because, well, look at this.
True.
Well, look at this. I see a bunch of Hikata. I see a bunch of Tower. I saw myself being about to own an Anarch in it. So, well, look at this. This ain't really too much in the way of my problem. So I'm leaving the choices up to you. At least as far as I feel comfortable in doing so.
The thing with this particular situation is that, yes, the Tower is involved due their penchant for needing to have their fingers and things and sticking their nose in. It is what it is. But where you come into it is we are all of the same living situation, as it were. And should things get too hairy or obvious, we will all be in the same amount of danger.
So, what you're saying is, if things go right tonight, situation's gonna get hairy.
No, if things go wrong.
That's what I said, right?
Tonight.
Not all right, but all right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes the accent can confuse you as to what the fuck I'm saying. No, I said all right.
All right.
All right.
All right.
It's like, oh God, no, please. He just looks at them both. Yes, then, if it goes awry this evening, it will probably cause a war amongst that particular faction that will spill over to the point where it can no longer be hidden from those that live in this area. And then that will bring the hunters.
Oh.
If they are not already here.
There's a, like, being composure one, there is, like, a visible, like, flinch almost, just a ooh, as they say that. But, just continuing on as if that didn't happen, just, so, Luke's presence here was more in the way of a mediator between the two, warring individuals there. From the way that you've explained it.
More than likely, yes, but he probably still at least has some skin, as it were called in the game. But mostly, yes, mediation, it seems. And a penchant for getting on people's nerves, it appears.
Oh. Luke gets on more than nerves. See the funny way he walked? That man's a bouncer.
Bouncer like club bouncer?
Oh, sweetie, you're so innocent.
Okay.
If Ernie wasn't already pale.
Well, suppose we should get... What's up?
Yeah, the whole crux of this whole thing is this is all because of that priest getting killed?
I think that is one of the first things, but it's more like a long line of fuckery.
This is kind of like, when you start stiffing people on their invoices, they kind of stop working. This is kind of a, union busting or what?
I'm not quite sure. My interaction with the political sphere has always been just a little bit tangential, but from the way that I look at this, the way that this comes out tonight, I'm more than happy. Sorry to say that, Majesty, I would love to see everything turn out all nice and pretty, but if it don't, so long as we make it out, I'm happy.
Is this run by mortals?
Probably not.
Just gonna shrug.
Probably not. Yeah.
No, not in the least. Especially as long as it has existed in our sphere, it has probably, he makes quotation marks, passed hands among family.
Well,
If you get what I'm saying.
so we gonna get up to it then? You guys got a ride of your own? I got this lovely truck here that I'm just flowing it down the highway.
Yeah, I got this car until like this morning. Like then I have to burn it.
What?
But yeah, long story. But yeah, not mine. And the person who owns it is Gator Food. But I do have wheels
The thing
until.
is,
What's it?
Go on.
you say you have to get rid of the vehicle by morning. We are going to a chop shop.
I did not notice that irony. Good eye.
It'd be a good excuse to get on in there, wouldn't it?
Actually, yeah. I mean, I could just park illegally and just get it towed.
What? No, what?
Oh,
No, we can use. He nods towards Oliver's truck. Oliver's truck to tow it.
Oh, that's
Hey,
not
man.
mine. I mean, I'm gonna treat it like it's mine, but it's not mine.
Either way, we have an excuse and a plausibility to be there, and then we will take it from there as to how we best take out whatever element might be there and go about shutting this whole thing down indefinitely. If you will give me but a few moments. And he goes back to his vehicle to get any last minute things he might need from it and lock it to make sure that should they make it back here, he will have his car where he left it. And while he's doing so, he will give himself time to do a premonition as to what they might be up against.
And, Nobu, if I'm not mistaken, it was stated that this operation used to be under the Bullfrog?
Yep. 100% so.
Okay.
Are you saying you have a soft spot for the bullfrog?
No, I was just wondering.
No, not him.
okay. I'm just trying to compare all these notes. Sorry. Maybe I shouldn't write so many notes.
Oh, notes are a very good thing. You will need them later. Master Ernie, when forcing a premonition, you will need to tap that beast, baby. Risk it for a biscuit. How are you using that rouse check to tap into the unknown? Are you pricking yourself? Are you slicing open your palm? Are you taking a silver pin and poking it into the corner of your eye? How are you triggering the necessary release to tap into the untold vistas of yet to be?
And the blade that he constantly carries on him, that is kept at wicked sharpness, and is his ritual blade, of course, is reached for in his inner pocket of his duster, and he takes it out and slides it across his non-dominant finger.
Okay, so we'll handle the rouse roll immediately after, but first things first, go ahead and roll your resolve plus auspics. Well, now. Has Sasha or Oliver ever witnessed anyone go into a near catatonic state before?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
As Ernie's turning to move back towards you, that's exactly what you see happen. He goes stock stone still rigidly as if he's having a full grand mal while standing. At any moment, he'll fall over and do harm to himself. His gaze, his eyes fill with light. Nothing spills out. There's no glow emanating from him, but his pupils swell to 4 and 5 times their actual size. His brown eyes seem to move and swirl like a tornado starting off the coast. And while that brown and dark black iris starts swirling one into the next, and the whites of his eyes seem to disappear, he stands and stares into forever in front of you. And while that is happening,
Go to assist.
yes, how would you like to assist?
If he falls or anything like that, definitely kind of making my way down there, kind of like cradling the neck, treating him like a human, very much so. He doesn't have a whole lot of medical, knowledge, except for kind of like whatever he had experienced, in like the music scene and things like that, like people getting crushed in the pit shit. But he does know how to like elevate legs, at least, I hope.
Just what? Seeing them go through all the trials and tribulations, I'll just walk over and just kind of like slob squat while they're conducting themselves, looking at the scene. Just, you are a nice one, aren't you? Tell me, what exactly do you have in relation to the prince to get yourself wrapped up in this situation? I heard you were one of his associates or something like that.
He was the one that I got to meet when I was made. Yeah, and we met. I couldn't tell you what we talked about, but that was about 3 years ago. I've just been on where I've been since then. No one's ever really talked to me. No one's ever really bothered us up until, up until my sire's up and gone missing. But
and while Ernie is still unconscious in their state, no one's really bothered you? You mean not like all them wonderful sheriff's officers been shooting
you've
up
seen my face before too, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I've seen you in the pictures, which is exactly what he's bringing up. Not like all them sheriff's officers with their guns and their body vests and all that.
You heard about that? Yeah, that was 2 nights ago.
Yeah, that's pretty fresh right there, isn't it? So, tell me, what exactly was that little fire starter doing?
A couple of things have come into a light about it, but essentially, I guess he'd been rolling into my neighborhood, essentially doing a blood tax.
You talking about, wait, you talking about Saber?
So, yeah.
Saber's a problem for a different day. What I'm talking about is the one that I'm responsible for. Darker skin color, got them purple highlights going on, muscular, female.
Oh, that's the
About
girl with the
5'4".
hoodie. Yeah, Vanessa, yeah.
I keep forgetting her name. Thank you for reminding me. I'll probably forget it again later. But, yeah, what exactly was she doing there?
At what point?
I'm done, Dakota Silver, as to the best of your understanding. Because, as I said before, I'm kind of the one holding her leash, loose as it may be at this moment. It's starting to come to light that I may or may not have to tighten it. I'm not looking forward to that. So that situation might become a little bit better for all parties involved if you can let me know what the fuck was going on.
At one point in time, Saber Capus does involve Saber in the sense that he was there at my park that night, and that is a problem for another night, correct?
Okay.
It seems like your associate and her associate. I catch like learning not to use names, but Sasha does. But he says, and they were out looking for him. A fight had broken out between the pack. I guess you could say that because they are the pack ones. Those vampire.
Oh, we talking about them mud trawlers?
Mud trawlers. Let's go with that.
The ones that go slipping, sliding around.
Yeah.
All right. So, she and hers go out there looking for a fight then?
As far as I knew, the fight was already about to happen, but they were not a part of that. They were not a part of that. No.
Who was the fight between then?
The own pack themselves.
Oh, it was an infight, lovely. And how the fuck did they get themselves involved in a pack infight?
They got flushed into us by the sheriff and their crew.
Okay.
We actually didn't really want to engage because they had the pack had done a huge number on the landlady's son, Clem. And Clem wasn't long for the world, so somebody kind of got caught on camera doing something unspeakable.
Real shame that. Alright, well, is that all that you think you could relay to me, or is there more to the story?
There was a fight, but we got separated. We smashed the camera equipment. But, it's not reel to reel, it's digital. I mean, the cloud exists.
As I noticed.
And, during the night, a human in my, a neighbor got killed. I had to take care of that last night.
I see.
By myself.
Now, who else have you told about all this?
Nobody.
I see. Well, he pats him.
I was hoping I could be able to talk to somebody about it tonight, but they've already ushered me out.
Just kind of pats Sasha on the shoulder. Until I...
Okay.
Oh, I don't really care. Until I figure out what's going on with that particular situation, I would suggest you keep that between the two of us, alright?
Sir.
Alright. Now,
And
I got a call to make.
And speaking of between the two of us, a private communication, a moment separate from the whole. There are many ways to see the future. For most people, it requires going to sleep and dreaming. For others, it requires just moving from one day into the next. For those gifted in the same manner as Ernie, it requires a little pain. It requires a catalyst sometimes. And other times it comes unbidden. It comes whether you want it to or not. The roast beef sliced or not, it came all the same, and it comes all its own way. There are just like the drugs that the mortals numb themselves with to get through the day, the week, the year. There's a cost inherent. The better the cut, the greater the risk. And in this particular moment, Ernie taps into the lightning itself. There are some things that are best unknown. Borrowing someone else's trouble is one of the more hopefully foolish aspects of mortality that Kindred managed to escape, usually. Ernie is not so lucky. The moment the blade slides across his dead flesh, the moment that the blade bites into him, he is able to see Stop and Shop salvage yard. It's 3/4 of a mile of land, barely fenced in at the edges of its perimeter, yet when you drive towards the center of the space, there are walls upon walls, several stories high, of compacted vehicles, one atop the next, braced and bolstered into place. The lower cars are cemented into place, forming basically an impenetrable bulwark against the world. At the center of this maze of stacked, crushed cars is a Quonset hut from the late 20s, just before the World War. This was formalized into being. It was used as a training ground then for the Office of Special Services agents here in the Gulf Coast, here on the Secret Coast, here in a import-export location that was just off the map. All those many years ago, several of the airfields in the area were used to launch covert missions that helped to steer the course of the war, as well as overthrow several burgeoning countries, as well as spy on our allies, as well as, but it fell out of favor. It became something else. And what it became was the resting place for the ashes of the immortal. Ernie sees himself walking through the front rolling door of the Quonset hut. He feels himself moving from one environment into the other and realizing that the interior of the Quonset hut is cooler and colder than the exterior. Ernie sees himself taking in the details of the space, the several rows of folding card tables, the folding chairs, the bunk beds stacked against the far back wall, the exposed restroom area where the showers have stalls that barely reach to the top of your pectorals and don't reach completely to the ground. It is a space designed for a multiplicity of uses, and all of them threadbare when it comes to supporting actual life. But the air feels cooler. The environment feels off, even here. And Ernie knows this is a clear-cut understanding of what is to happen, not what could happen. It is not a shifting kaleidoscope of potential. This is what it will happen. As sure of a bet that the sun will raise tomorrow, even if you're not there to see it, this will happen. Ernie will walk through that rolling door into an environment that is cooler than the outside. He feels Oliver at his back. He feels Sasha there on his right, and before him is a masked rhino walking on two legs. Though rhino may be stretching it, it looks more like a hippopotamus. It is large enough that it is clearly a pygmy hippopotamus standing on 2 feet, its bulk blocking out the light at the back of the building, and it charges towards Ernie. Its bright red bloodshot eyes as its hand reaches towards Ernie's face, and he can hear gunshots sounding like thunder echoing off the interior of the metal structure that he is within. The last thing Ernie sees is the hand close over his face, and it is barely a hand because it is as large as his skull. Ernie has never felt his death more than as that hand closes and makes contact with his flesh. That balaclavaed masked 2 bipedal hippopotamus is most assuredly the end of Ernie.
He comes to himself sweating like blood sweat and flailing, reaching for the pocket that has his notepad in it, and it's like auto writing, like when you're possessed. He is a man possessed, writing down everything he saw before he forgets it.
Whoa!
And it's hard for him to forget anything because of his memory, the way his memory sets up, but just that state of being lost, he's writing and writing.
Are you... what the fuck?
Problem.
What's the problem?
Deadly hippopotamus.
What?
Serious, I asked, what was the hippopotamus doing?
Waiting for us in the building. He's like drawing, like outlining how the rows of cars are in like a little map. It's like the pages on his little book are like getting filled. I don't think he knows we're coming, but he's prepared either way. And he cuts the light from the world. He's not gonna go out without a fight. He's in a shack. And he's huge, man. Huge hippo. He's like patting his eyes for a minute, and then finally, having gotten all the writing out, takes a deep breath and looks at the two of them. We have to do this the right way, or we won't make it out of this tonight.
I mean, yeah, that was the general assessment before you went ahead and had yourself a, touch of God moment. What exactly would you say is the right way?
That's the problem. What I have seen will happen no matter what else we do. But being prepared for it, hopefully, will keep it.
I'm flipping through your pages, like as you finished writing.
Yeah, getting bad.
May I repeat?
Yes. Be prepared. It's good. Be prepared is very good.
Sir. Looking through, he makes a note, and, what if I go on the left side instead of from the right side? What about no side at all? Like, how far away can we do this? any kind of accident could happen.
What? What?
Look, you came in from behind in this vision, and I came in from the right.
Okay, sorry, I don't fuck too much with this whole like future seeing shit. So y'all just tell me what exactly y'all was wanting to do, and we'll work towards that. But every time I fuck with any kind of like movie or something that's got that future side going on, the more you fight against it, the more likely it's to happen.
Your phone goes off right then. Just a small little bird chirp.
I'm just saying, but it's probably best if we take some time, we gather ourselves, gather what resources we can before approaching this, if there is really such an enormous threat there. I've got a bunch of gasoline, bunch of, acid, and some relatively stable homemade Molotovs back at my place if you guys want to go there and collect that.
I think that would cause a little bit more of the thing that neither the Dawn nor the Pater nor the Camarilla really want, which was discretion.
See, what they wanted to happen was to have this place wiped off the fucking map.
Sure.
And if they didn't want it happening with fire, they would not have contacted the Molotov.
Okay. Would you show me how to use it?
Sure, yeah. Let me just pull a bottle out of my ass.
I mean, later.
What were we saying, Nobu?
Teach me how to Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie.
Sure, yeah, I will. Yeah, you ever play baseball?
No.
Okay. Have you ever thrown a ball? Or are you more of a catcher?
Yeah. Like a catcher.
Alright. Well then, this is gonna be an interesting experience. As I said, we can go back to my place. It ain't too far out the way. It is a little out the way, but we can make it there in good time. Collect some resources that we might be able to use to make this a little bit easier for us. Sure, yeah, it might be bright, it might be pretty, but if we get in and out fast enough, the fire truck ain't gonna see us.
As they're talking, Ernie kind of taps Oliver's pocket where the sound is coming from.
What? Pulls it out, looks at it. Oh, alright. Tucks it back in.
Yes, I think maybe I need a moment to process and come up with a plan as to how to avoid my own death.
Well, approaching things from quite possibly the most prepared angle is a great way of doing that.
I mean, you did get the premonition at this moment, so at this moment we had not come up with the plan to grab the Molotov cocktails, but now that we have made a plan to grab Molotov cocktails, we have essentially changed the probability, and so your premonition is now moot.
See, this is why I don't fuck with that timey-wimey bullshit.
No, I think I get it. I think it's coming on.
I'm glad one of us does.
Ernie just smiles at the both of them, but mostly at Sasha. Basically, the smile says, "Oh, you sweet summer child." But he does not say anything. He just kind of nods. Okay, I will accept that. Yes.
I'm starting to get how you's connected to the prince.
I think Sasha now kind of realizes that people are making fun of him. And that, you know, he's kind of getting pat on the head. I'm not sure how I'm going to take it right now, though. But he does kind of square up a little bit more. He does kind of, you know, get a little bit more defensive. But yeah, he is like, you know, finally, you know, very decisively goes, yeah, Molotovs, that's good. Yeah, Molotovs, that's good.
Alright, well.
Molotovs at a chop and shop in a metal building. Is there any way to make sure that it burns hot enough to bring the building down on itself?
Well, you know what they say, jet fuel apparently melts steel beams.
Yes, but do you have any jet fuel handy?
No, not at all. Posse here as a spectator, or might I recruit you? Oh, we're about to go fuck some shit up.
Don't you go get horses, sheep?
Alright.
I guess I'll do that.
Okay. Well, I do have another associate who's quite skilled at problem resolution.
You know, I'm mostly a talker. If you let me, I can really get people to open up.
Oh, my friend's very good at getting people to open up as well.
You mean literally, don't you?
You are quite perceptive.
Yeah, I'm catching on.
But is it a good thing?
Sure.
Ignorance is 100% bliss, and in this particular moment, there's very little chance that the bliss of remaining ignorant will be a possibility.
This is stuff that I've been shielded from, so
Look,
I guess.
You know, please continue on. Sorry about that.
I'm just saying, you know, like this is your world. You know, obviously you're gonna know better than what I know. So
Oh,
maybe
come
I'll
on,
pick some pointers.
No. Ain't none of this your world shit. This is our world. Now and forever, so long as you can keep hold of it. You wanna do some talking? You think that'll be the best way about going about it? I'll give you the opportunity to do some talking. On the other hand, I found more often than not, talking just leads to people wanting to shoot me more.
Well, Daddy-O, ain't like you don't deserve that fine shooting iron. After all,
Yeah,
you motherfuckers are the reason why things have been going as downhill as they have been. Now, you ain't as square as a spectre. You're not quite a rectangle there, Daddy-O, but you are very, very, very close to being on my little black book, a list of things. I'd be more circumspect if I was you.
Oh, I like to keep myself nice and clean. And looks around for the individual, which is most likely just still fucking invisible.
There is no one that is standing here except for you three.
I do have my world has just opened up. I do have a little tiny Auspex wand.
I am aware.
Oh yes, sir. Okay.
That would be an active attempt.
Gotcha.
If you would like to.
Now I would if I've heard a voice that I can't see.
Oh yeah, Daddy-O, you done heard a voice that you can't quite see. Probably before your better sense of sanity that you don't. But let's give it a shot, shall we?
Daddy-O.
Ernie's just used to this. He sees ghosts all the time in the gym, like so.
Right? He doesn't even know they're ghosts yet. Poor Sasha. Oh, what is this? Witsplit Auspex?
Now, Mr. Mardi Gras, are you just here to play peekaboo, or you got something to add to this conversation?
Oh, I've been adding plenty. Listen here, Cat Daddy. It's real simple. You all got a big to do handed down from the High Llama himself. You all need to get on with the getting on. And while you roll that, let's give him a roll. Let's see what fate says. Do you unmask him before you all? Is the question.
Nope. I doubt it. Only one success.
It's a DC 2, brother. You might got this.
Nope.
You very well might. Let's see, what does fate have in store for you? Do you get a chance to see the man, the myth, the monster in the flesh?
The dice are kind of assholes sometimes, so you never know.
Yeah. With my wits plus aspects, no, I only got one success.
I mean, willpower is a thing. Oh God, never mind.
It is a thing.
No, it's not a thing. Abort. Unknown to the world itself. What did you say, Hoss?
I checked the radio. I'm like, is it coming from there?
Keep that, that's lovely. Oh, wait, no, that's nobody that wrote that. That's your phone, sorry.
That is nobody that loved it. Just...
There is no one here.
There's no one?
You're not entirely sure that Oliver and Ernie are here. You peer into the forever, the world between worlds, the underpinnings of everything that is, that was, that might be. You've discerned the celestial algebra, the celestial calculus, to figure out what the meaning of existence is. And instead of getting even a number, you got the response that red equals the square root of hungry.
Technically not inaccurate. The color red does induce hunger.
It's the root of all hunger.
The opportunity that you are somehow allowing the bombarding neurons inside your own mind to spill out and infect your compatriots is very, very probable in this moment.
Oh no. No, don't say something to make them hate you.
We're waiting. No, I'm sorry, but if you ain't seen the situation, I've got a baby and someone with fits of passing the fuck out. Give me a moment to figure out what exactly we're gonna do before we go about driving. We can leave here and do our planning if you would like to not see us so stagnant.
Daddy, don't let my decisions affect what you could be. This is all very good to your betterment, because the Grand High Llama of us all has passed down this job to you all and let Smiling Boy inside with the other dead ones. I suggest you all get on with the get on, but while you do that, plan for the getting gone, because this is going to be a real knockdown, drag out humdinger. It's going to be the cat's pajamas and the bee's knees, son.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, Dan. And hopefully, while we's going about bleeding and dying, you can sit back, relax, and play yourself a little, trombone? There we go. That fits with the whole skeletal theme y'all people got, right?
Nah, Cat Daddy, that's beyond square. That is rectangles upon rectangles multiplied by forever. It is not just a mad scene. It is back of outside of Superstella.
Well, my apologies then. Majesty, get yourself into whatever vehicle you're gonna be climbing in, and it looks over to the Malkavian that is just glimpses the square root of infinity, apparently.
It's divided by zero. It's divided by zero all the way.
What the? I'm just gonna toss this one in back. Hope.
No, I can drive. I'm good. I'm good.
No, you can't.
Bet you I'm a better driver than you. He's not.
He's not. Alright, look, just fucking ride side set. Like, get the hell out of here before the scourge decides that I'm too annoying to leave alive.
I'll ride with you. But we gotta get that. We gotta get that damn Honda Accord just towed out right now. But the next time it's like crushed in, the closer it is to getting crushed in, the better.
All right. I'm gonna go. We're gonna go pick up a friend of mine, grab some shit, and then we'll head out back that way.
Sir?
See you later, Spooky.
His name's Spooky?
No, his name ain't Spooky. When the fuck have I called people by their proper names?
I don't know yet. I don't know you.
Hello, nice to meet you. I'm the Monitor.
I caught that one on. But you know, I'm still learning names here.
Okay.
Is this, I guess, what is this, my trial by fire?
Suppose so.
Well, keep it literal then.
Oh, best way to keep it. Tell me, have you ever tried jumping through a bonfire? I think that'd be a great exercise for you.
No, I don't think so.
We gonna get you jumped in soon enough.
So you're stalling and driving towards the hole in the ground?
Yeah, baby.
The question
I'll be following.
is, are you following or are you in his truck?
No, I'm riding my bike. I guess we would be riding together so we could have conversation. One group.
And Magister?
You want to ride my ride?
Sure. Ernie will ride with.
Oh, I meant if you wanted to come with.
Damn.
It's a hoarder hole that I've stolen. And don't mind, there is a skull in the back seat. You could just keep that down there.
You wanna ride my ride? Fresh meat hitting on everybody.
I mean, when the vampire world is full of babes.
This is the true show. Yeah. I mean, just look at Hoss.
And he's way more like the
daddy bear look.
Yeah, very much. He's very much a granddaddy. He had like the
All right. So yeah, Ernie will be driving Sasha's car, and Sasha will be riding with me, right?
Is that how it goes? Because I am. You did feel like I was unable to operate a vehicle at that time.
Like you were unable to operate, the fucking buttons on your shirt.
Well, if they're not snappies, whatever.
If they ain't snappy, they're crappy.
What was that, Ernie?
However it shakes out, if he has to take the weird hoarder vehicle with the skull in it, I guess he'll take it. It might give him some time to
Yeah, fair warning, she was a heavy smoker.
Heavy? There's nothing heavy about smoking. It's light. It floats. It goes up. No, but in all seriousness, making it to the hole in the ground is not that difficult at all. It's actually relatively close in the grand scheme of things. The problems compound when moving towards the hole in the ground. It's because, Ernie, you recognize the place as competition. It is a no-tell motel that offers nap rates and monthly rental. It is the sort of place where crawling into the shower, you are bathing in the residue of several other individuals' DNA. It is a party place. It is where old timers go ahead and trick off with whoever they can. It is the place where if you have not fought in a war, you're about to. If not for it, the Seagull Select would have more business. And you all are cities apart, but your reputations in regards to hotels are, well, in the community, clarion calls. You know, the Seagull Select could be making considerably more money if for places like the Hole didn't exist. You're literally looking at the reason why you're not a millionaire the moment that you all pull into the lot.
But at the same point, Ernie, over the past few years, has actively attempted to keep himself at a 2-star so that he does not have more people.
Yes, and that's where the money is. It's quick turned over cash that doesn't have to go on the books. And the only reason why you're not raking in the money with shovels and literal rakes is because of places like the Hole. Low quality mid-range hotels are money traps. Tourists come and just spend goo-gobs and piles upon piles of money, but they don't come to the Seagull Select because the Hole exists.
If I owned Misty Morn, it'd be the same way. We were also competition.
Yep.
Welcome to my little piece of heaven, everybody. Now give me a moment. I'm gonna have to figure out where we store all the Everclear.
Does anyone have a combined total of wits plus either larceny, streetwise, or finances at 5 or better?
I will. I do. My wits plus streetwise is 6.
Police always say there's no such thing as a coincidence. They are paranoid conspiracy theorists as a whole, as a monolith. As you all pull into the parking lot for the Hole and Oliver begins busying himself, that truism bounces off the inside of your skull. There is a reason you 3 were selected out of the clear blue. There's no connection between either of you all. You are what clan you are. Oliver is clearly not that clan, and neither is Magister Wynn. You 3 are as disparate and disconnected as you could possibly be. There is something that connects you all, and the moment you pull into the Hole, you realize that the Hole is the Big Brother permanent version of Misty Morn. But how does that connect to Magister Wynn?
As he just goes searching about the place for the most high content alcohol he's got, he'll also just toss out a few shouts while he's in the back room. Hoss, you back home yet? You right here?
It was just like from the very back room, it's very muffled. Yeah, boss, what you need?
We're about to go do some fireworks and such. You want to come along?
You need the kerosene or the whiskey?
Why not both?
Alright, I'll be right over.
Kind of looking over his shoulder to these two if they follow along. Just now, he's a real cuddly fellow. All right, he real nice and gentle, but he big. He real big, and he don't know his strength. So, keep an arm's length away from him. And be real nice, because if you ain't nice to him, I ain't gonna be nice to you. We all understand?
Sure. Best behavior.
All right.
Ernie just blinks at him. He's nonplussed. He knows he can handle himself. So he's just very much blink.
I'm gonna take that as an understanding. Just kind of. Also, I got 2 new friends here we gonna run out with. Ain't neither of them for, munching and crunching or nothing, alright?
Alright. And he just kind of comes around with, in his hand that has 4 fingers, it's one of those big ass blue, literally like a kerosene container that you can actually carry around. The other hand actually has like 2 big ass bottles of whiskey just between fingers. I got what you asked for.
Ooh, not that one. Can we leave that one here? He takes one of the bottles of whiskey. I have a history with this one. It places on the counter. We're gonna just gonna leave that there for later.
Alright.
Hoss, this is
You can call me Zata. How's it going?
Oh, nice to meet you.
Yeah, this is all, and that's a Magister.
Yeah.
Magister.
It's like one of them people that run around in the fields with cloaks on, throwing beanbags at each other.
Oh. Poindexter.
There you go. Yeah, that's it.
Nice to meet you, Magister.
You gotta be real careful about that one. They like to fall over every once in a while.
Name's Hoss.
Nice to meet you, Hoss. I go in for a handshake, but then I remembered what you said. Say I pull back and I stay arm's length away.
Now then, these 2 lovely individuals have been fitted with me so we can go handle a problem for the Hikata. There we go. What is it? That fancy boy Luke, he roped us into it because, apparently there's some trust in whatever the hell's. But suffice to say, we're gonna go do what we's best at. And these 2 friendly folk, they're gonna come along with us. One thing of note, we are going to the old shop. The one that used to be ran by Callaway. So, there gonna be some hellacious counter-offensive going on. Apparently some kind of hippopotamus has been weaponized within the facility. I'm not entirely sure what they're talking about, but, expect angry water buffalo.
There's no such thing as coincidence. And as Ernie remains silent, and Zaza introduces himself, and Haas appears and materializes, the only thing different between the vision that Ernie experienced and Haas, he's not wearing a balaclava, and his belly is not quite as wide. Deep, heavy, yes, but not as wide, not as corpulent. But height-wise, clearly weight-wise, he might very well be the slightly physically fit version of what caused Ernie's death.
Ernie is definitely kind of not staring at Hoss, but looks at him and then looks at Oliver and looks at him and then looks at Sasha and leans near enough to be heard, bigger than him, and nods towards Hoss. That's what I saw.
It's funny. Where you all are standing, with Oliver having gone into the back room behind the bar, when you lean over to your right towards Sasha, Oliver's behind you. Sasha's to your right.
So, I don't really know what most of that you said was false, but what I do get is we got to go set stuff on fire and punch the shit out of things, right?
Oh, yeah. We're just making sure that we're well and truly prepared before anything too terrible goes down that way.
Gotcha.
He has a moment of, oh shit, and starts backing towards the door.
Hey, Magister, what's wrong? What you doing? As they start backing up towards the door, just...
Wrong place. Oh shit, wrong place.
Magister, and I'm doing the visual calculus myself right now.
Hey, Hoss, make sure the Magister don't get too far away from here. We're gonna need them for what's coming up next.
Okay, I won't get my knobs then. I am Mr. Magister. Would you not try to leave? Boss says you got to stay.
He gets a slight bit of panicked look on his face, and it's not normal for him to panic. He is usually calm, collected, one step ahead of things. This is freaking him the fuck out.
Things just got a little bit closer, huh?
Wait a second, I thought you was one of them Beanie Boys. I didn't know... Zaza, are they one of you?
I don't know. But, Mr. Magister, I'm not exactly, sure of my own safety coming into this. But you want to make different plans, or if you want to, work through this, I'm right here.
Work through what? I thought we were just gonna go burn some place down.
No, I think that we gotta at least, kind of center ourselves for sure, right? We can center. We can attack.
These people talk real funny.
Look, I've been introduced to a whole lot of weird folk tonight. I'm hoping to God one of them doesn't fall over and start seizing or something.
Ernie starts listening actively for police sirens or anything that would be the precursor to a hail of bullets.
You look real, you look like you didn't take a shit or something. Is everything alright?
I've been waiting for you motherfuckers to open up all goddamn night. If I knew you were down here, I can't. Says the little small old lady who's walking down the steps. It's so goddamn hot out there. Thankfully, you guys keep the air on in here, making it so nice and cool. And she pulls up to the bar. She's literally been here every night that you're open. And it's clear now from our conversation that she waits outside in the heat until you all are officially open. She bellies up to the bar as if she's not standing in the room full of monsters.
Oh, hey! How you doing? Not treating you well so far?
It is. Y'all keeping everybody out there in that swelter when y'all got it nice and cool down here, in here. That's just unhospitable. Don't you got no father with senses?
Oh, unfortunately, mine went off of cigarettes many a year ago. But we're more than happy to help you while we're here.
Excellent. A Schlitz.
Will do. Coming right up. Let me just get this out of my way. He kind of maneuvers the excess of cups and stuff that have been building up since he forgot to clean up before he left, and just pushes them to the side and begins mixing up her drink for him.
Tubby, you know better than me playing around with that. If you don't drink it, you gotta strain it through a piece of bread, she says towards Hoss. completely unfazed by his size. And sure enough, to be perfectly accurate, it really is warmer outside than it is in here.
Why don't you two go ahead and sit down as well while I'm doing this? Take a load off. We got all night to get done with this after all.
Sure.
This is a joke.
Alright, thank you very much, House.
But I'm going to sit next to Magister Dwayne. And kind of point to the journal.
He's staying the fuck away from Hoss. That is what the fuck he's doing.
We just got to make sure that when it does go down, that you're nowhere near.
What?
I'm whispering this.
At my bar?
At your bar.
And quiet bar.
That this isn't the actual place.
You got, like, any kind of guns?
I'm gonna operate off of the idea, because you're intending for me not to hear this, I'm gonna operate off of the idea that I don't hear this.
The old lady, however, does. Everybody's got guns. Hell, I got one. And she sits a honest to goodness 357 that she pulls up out of some mysterious pocket under her skirt, which on her is a very long ankle length dress made of denim and canvas. And sits on a bar. Only an idiot would go anywhere without a gun. They just shot some boys at the trailer park. My nephew stays out there.
See, this is why I like you. You got sense to you. I'm about the same way, he says, tapping at his pant leg, where as he's tapping it, it kind of forms back down to his leg a little bit more, and the makings of a kind of shorter weapon can be shown through the form of it. I've also got my own little conceal here. Ain't much of a pistol, but it gets the job done.
You gotta have a gun that evens the playing field. That's the reason why I keep my shotgun in the car.
Yeah, what does it say? God made all man, but Samuel Colt made them even.
You know Sam, he went to high school with me.
I don't think I quite know that, Sam.
I thought your bar had class. You only kept veterans allowed down here. I didn't know y'all kept. And she motions towards Ernie and Sasha. Civilians.
Oh, they friends of a friends. Just coming for a visit.
Yeah, just passing through.
Yep, just passing.
Hunting. We're gonna go hunting.
You a hunter? That ain't quite good enough, but it's close. Better than not. What you shoot?
Sasha goes through a Rolodex of animals that exist before he decides on rat.
You hunt rats?
Yeah, they're a real nuisance where I'm from.
I don't think that's the kind of hunting she talking about. I'm thinking about taking him out and going hunting some boar. You know, the real big piggies.
That's a good idea. Well, take care of some of Tubby's relations.
Oh, come on now. Don't say that way he can hear you. He might get offended.
Oh, Tubby know better than get offended. He knows it's true. Cousins of a cousin. Anything and anyone that big knows what they is.
Yeah, I think he fat and proud. He got that going on. He walks like he's a god.
Exactly. That's how it's supposed to be. Live up to your potential.
Exactly.
Better than them idiots that put on the badge.
So I heard that it
several
was the
red
cops
flags.
who were killing the people at.
What were you saying?
I heard. I'm saddling up and I'm getting some gossip too. And I say, well, I heard that some of the folks who were killing folks were the cops themselves.
Yep.
I heard it was a gang of cops.
Used to be they take pride and make sure that everything stayed on the up and up, but now everybody's wearing cameras. They can't do that no more. Except for Peterson and his boys, they still do what they do, keeping our streets clean. Don't let none of that shit fly in our small towns.
Sheriff Peterson?
Yeah. You know Laurel.
Probably. She been in here ever?
He. Laurel Marion Peterson. LM, everybody calls her.
Oh! No, I don't think I ever had the pleasure.
I'll have him come down next time I'm down this way. I'm supposed to head up to, Mississippi. Is it Mississippi City tonight? No, it's not Mississippi City tonight. Where am I supposed to be? I forget. Was it? I keep forgetting. Oh, that's right. Tonight's supposed to be. I forget. Whether is it Wool Market or Orange Grove?
Perhaps this will help you remember a little bit better, he says as he sets down the Schlitz.
Thank you. About damn time. I gotta get on the road soon. I wouldn't think y'all gonna open up soon enough.
Oh, you know us with our eclectic eyes. We pop in whenever we can, and we ain't too tired.
Yeah, good thing y'all ain't too far from Gulfport where I need to be later. And she takes a sip that is actually half the liquid volume.
What you got going on in Gulfport?
I was just the usual, watching out for bad things. Nobody.
One of them neighborhood watch types?
Well, they put one of ours in a hospital, so we're gonna put several of theirs in the graveyard permanently. Buddy, Peterson's old partner Frank got laid low by someone trying to invade his home. We're gonna make sure that don't happen to nobody else. There's a call to arms of sorts of us old angels to get to. There's some gravy, not Autobot, mechanical airplane, the old yeah, don't worry about that. It's before your time. Y'all wouldn't know nothing about that. But across the river from Adventures Marine Park, there used to be a space where they train soldiers, and there's supposedly people out there that. Yeah, don't worry about that. I shouldn't be talking like that. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, and we don't want y'all to think I'm crazy. Get me commuted.
Oh, don't worry about that. Oh, it's a little bit crazy. What'd you say?
And mouths. Ernie looks at Joshua and mouths. And with the hand motion, chop. Chop, chop.
Well, I hope this carries you on down well, and good luck with whatever it is you're getting up to tonight.
Oh, it's a piece of cake. It's on instead of our usual one or two. Peterson got pretty much the whole squad back together, and him and his boys, his deputies, have been keeping an eye on the place. Supposedly they sweated out the owner and got him to admit that they've been doing some things better left unsaid in polite company out there. So we gonna make sure that they know better than to do that. Even in the hellhole of a place that like Rockhold Road, it deserves to be safe, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. I'm with you 100% on that, and I'm glad that Peterson's getting up to the good Lord's work.
Well, it's not just Peterson. Don't be blowing all the smoke in his direction. We all like some. If not for for Mace getting us together, we wouldn't have found out, thanks to that antiquities professor, the lawyer, the old Jew lawyer, the Chinese looking fella. He did some research, and they got jumped by some black lady and dressed like a priest the other night. Surprised that there was any pieces of them left, but luckily we found their notes, and well, it's time we take back from all of these godless heathens.
Absolutely, and it's a shame to hear about that. Which Mace was this, by the way? I don't. You naming off all kinds of people. I only know tangentially. It rings a bell, but I don't think I ever got like the introduction.
What? You was here the night he came through and bought everybody drinks and sat over there at that back table talking. Old Salvadoran fellow.
Oh, see, I might have been through a little bit of bliss that night myself. I think that's what happened there.
It's good that we have places like yours, and we appreciate it. It's better than what this place used to be, but you gotta be more aware. There are things out there in the dark that will do you harm if you're not paying attention. Luckily, Peterson and the boys worked out some plans with Mason. If we successful tonight, we gon' really raise hell and keep us safe for the ages.
Storyteller?
Mm-hmm.
It was a big fracas the night that Misty Morn, got attacked. But am I an understanding that she was there, as she was a part of, am I hearing that she was also, me and the boys were out there that night? Or she said that she had family there. Never mind.
Yeah, from context, Peterson is the sheriff that was with the deputies who went and shot everything up on the masquerade branch. Okay, I don't know about the rest of it, but yeah, you are connected to this.
Mm-hmm. Just trying to see if I would recognize her.
Just kind of, well, once you all are done with that, feel free to come on by. I'm sure we'll be open around that time, and I'll give you all a round of drinks as a celebratory evening.
Oh no, we like paying our way. It's good, respectful. But thank you. We'll take you up on that at least for one round. We enjoy the space. It's open at odd hours and keeps up with us for the most part. We'll probably be back next night or so. We gotta take care of this real fast, and there's a club we got some people watching now, and so far looks like that's probably what's going to be next on the agenda. They're due for a census of who actually operates inside of there. Just for your sake, I know it'll help you business wise, they being so close and all, but stay away from the clubs down there off of 33rd. Just stay away for a while, maybe a night, a week, a month. If we're lucky, we'll be able to shut them down completely, but we're probably only gonna be able to shut them down for a couple of nights. They seem to be well connected.
All right. Hey, I ain't got much to do tonight. If I were to join y'all out there, would that be all right?
Nah, we can't have too many civilians around, and we already got a couple of and she looks left and right. We got a couple of them Catholics, if you know what I mean.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I mean, hey, good luck in your hunting.
Hey, it's not so much as hunting as fishing. Peterson has been really thorough, thanks to Mace and his network of guards. It is turning out really well. Y'all have a good night and get home safe. Don't stay out too late. It's bound to be fireworks. That's one short or another, or I mean one caliber or another.
All right. You stay safe now. Hopefully next time I'll let you in a little bit before you turn into all kinds of sweaty.
Thank you. And she moseys back on up and out as if nothing at all has been pressing, as if she was not in the presence of clear-cut undead things.
So, Dan, as she clears the door, and he just speaking in a little bit of a quieter voice in case, there be the listenings. And actually, while he's doing that, he's gonna start searching his bar, like looking. You know what? No, never mind. Oliver doesn't know about too much in the way of tech. Fucking listening devices are well and truly out of his sphere of I give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I point to Eddie's journal. I'm sorry, Ernie's journal.
Mm-hmm.
And I just tap it gently and stare at Oliver.
Okay. Just right in there. Sounds like they're having themselves a party out there. Maybe we should change our objectives for the night, contact some people, and cut off the problem at its source. If they're all going to be out there at the chop shop, we might be able to fix things up. We gotta head out that way anyways. So then, either you two want a drink or y'all just gotta be lounging about.
I'm ready when you are.
I don't know whether it was an eventuality of my death that I was seeing, or hers this evening. But things are not going to go well for whoever goes to the chop shop this evening, or the first people there at the very least.
Alright.
I also think that some of those names I have never heard before, but the way she was saying them, the hunters perhaps have already come.
He gives like a quieter nod and taps on the book. My favorite is a little bit of a mixture between grape juice, bourbon, and some Everclear. I got my own special take on it here at the bar. I can whip it up for you if you like. And as he's saying all this, he's just writing in the book, hey, in case there are people listening, no funny words, period. Also, might want to contact Landry and her crew, see if they're up to clearing out some rats. What do you think?
Yeah, I write in it while commenting on gin qualities that I've had. Hendrix being the fanciest. He writes down, she knows what happened at my home at Misty Morn. She knows way more than she should.
As they finish their description of gin qualities, he's like, you ain't telling me nothing I didn't know. Gin's a well-known thing, but I like your perspective on it. It looks over to Ernie very pointedly. So what are your thoughts? Should we invite a few more people to our little party here, or would you rather just keep it the four of us?
Well, the thing is, while the more the merrier might seem the smart way to go, I believe our host mentioned that they did not wish too many sleepovers.
Yeah, I know. The person that's hosting this party doesn't want anybody to really know about the surprise part of it. But so long as they don't know what the party's for, I think we're keeping true to the letter of the law while not the spirit. And that's the best way of keeping to the law.
I would definitely say that if you tell a few people the locations of a hunter, there'd be enough bad blood that they want to go and take care of it themselves as well.
Snaps over very quickly to Sasha.
Writing.
Okay.
You need to verbalize that you're specifically right.
Got you. Yeah. I don't do a lot of life. Anyway, yes.
Absolutely
Yeah, writing.
No, you're fine.
And just kind of nodding his head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. Bigger parties sounds like more fun.
Yeah,
Let's
make
do
sure that the festivities are as lively as possible. I want all kinds of people waking up on the floor tomorrow, or, well, not waking up if they have themselves a little bit too much. I'll go ahead and make some phone calls, get some more people coming on down to the party. You two go up there and say hi to Hoss, see what he's got going on, see if he needs any help, alright?
Don't worry, Ernie. I'm right behind you.
Every cop will tell you that there's no such thing as a coincidence. Every fortune teller will tell you your most accurate future. And every thief knows that locks only work on the innocent. Meaning that the future and every facsimile of it is not truly determined without your action, without your choice, without your engagement. Tomorrow will come whether you see it or not. And in this case, as the coterie separates to deal with small moments of their own personal issues, the truth that lays over the three of them and what they know in the now is a threat to not only to all of those others out there in the night, but to themselves. While it's not something that is foremost or easily thought of, the considerations that Mace, whoever they are, has already been in the ground, that there's a group of guardian angels who have been operating or have restarted to operate in and around the coast, and they're heading towards a location on Reichhold Drive out there, if not at Stop and Shop, clearly in the same area, clearly within view. Clearly they've been watching the space, compiling. And if she wasn't as loud as she had been, if she had not pulled out and left her 357 Magnum on the countertop, if she had not bothered to share how often and how regular she actually was and how regular Mace was, none of that information would have been available to the kindred present. None of that would have reached their understanding. But for the first time, the night is a bigger, darker place because of the still sitting on the bar 357 Magnum and its owner.
This was a warning. They're inviting us to go there. I write down on the journal.
About this time, Hollis comes back down and heads into the back room.
Just writes a quick response. Can we afford to not deal with it?
No, I write back.
Well then, seems like everything's settled. He takes the Magnum, tucks it into his belt loop. I'll make sure to get that
bullet,
back.
sir.
See ya. Sorry about it. What now?
You're going to want to check that clip. Make sure that it's, safe.
This doesn't have a clip. What?
Magazine?
It's a 357 Magnum. It has a cylinder.
I'm looking at it. It's new. It's new to me, at least.
Oh no. Alright, well, let me just go make a call or two.
get people out here to actually know what the fuck they're doing. You two figure out something on your own, and then we'll go handle this, alright?
Yeah.
And as you all continue on your way, in preparation of the hell that is going to be unleashed, or is being unleashed not long from this very moment for the characters, I'd like to thank you all for a lovely episode. I'll talk to you guys later.
Alrighty. Thank you very much.